throwing that out in combos and like trying to extend things.
Yeah. Yeah,
You know?
downer is probably the best way to find tip up smash kills off the top platform or off the side platforms.
Yeah.
And those are pretty important. Like usually you find tipper up smash is pretty important for like making your combo game into like a true punish game that leads to kills because you can
So
get it off of, on like Marth and on SHEIK and on
yes.
like semi floaties you can get it off of down throw, and then
Mhm.
against every character you can get it off of down air. Um,
Okay. So with the down air, like that's not something you should be throwing out in neutral, right?
no,
It should be like kind of like a read. Like if you think they're gonna like get up, like just like a tech get up, you throw out the down air, or do you think there's like more worthwhile moves in
so
certain situations, I
downer is
guess?
weird. So you don't want to use the neutral because if you look at the hitbox, it's actually terrible for
Yeah.
as a neutral option because like there's no disjoint at all, and her like the it's weird because like most moves in melee are disjointed at least a little bit, but
Hmm.
below SHEIK, her hurt box actually extends below the hitbox. So like there's like a bit of a vulnerable part poking out that people can hit. Um,
I'm linking you
like
the frame data.
if you look at like I'm just in the SHEIK Discord right now. I just typed in the I went to the frame data channel. I typed in down air,
Oh, there. Oh, okay. All right.
and if you can see that her foot pokes out a tiny bit below the hitbox, which
Yeah,
makes
I
it,
see that.
and then her head is also exposed, and like her like so it doesn't like it's not disjointed at all. So it's a really bad neutral option. Um,
I'd say like if I throw it out like randomly, to get back to stage, that's another way I find down air really useful too. It's you can like if you do it too much though, it's pretty readable. I've noticed, but
yeah,
because it
yeah,
gives you that
it's
extra speed on the way down.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean
But I,
also
I
just
feel like
like
I miss those L cancels. The L cancel timing's so weird on that
yeah,
move. I
L
feel
canceling
like
is weird like that. Like it's the same timing for every move, but just because like I think it's because like some for the hit for the moves that go downwards, it's a like have kind of delayed like impact. It's a little bit harder to L cancel them because it's more ambiguous as to like when you're actually going to make contact with the ground.
hmm
Like I think that's why like Ganon Stomp and Falcon Stomp and like Marth Down Air are so weird to L cancel when you're starting out. Just because like the L cancel timing is a little bit hard to actually figure out.
Okay, so I have some stuff that we could do. So I have like a little set from this friendlies that I played the other day, which it was yesterday actually, and I kept a lot of the things that we talked about in mind. I
Okay.
also would just be down to just run some unranked and try and run into a fox and see what you say about that.
Okay.
I don't
I
know if you
think
play fox at all.
I was
You,
a Fox main for a little bit.
so you got like a
And
little pocket fox. We could do
I got a
that
little
too. I'm
pocket
down for
Fox.
that.
But I can't unranked because my net play setup is downstairs where the Ethernet is.
Oh yeah, you
And
said that. That's fine.
yeah,
Well, I was
yeah.
saying maybe I could just run a couple games
Okay,
like
yeah,
against some
that'd be
random
cool.
guy.
But I think it'd be more valuable to go over the actual match footage first,
Okay.
and then after that we can maybe
Yeah.
hop into some unranked.
Yeah.
Because like I think the what we want to be doing is we want to be establishing like kind of the rules of the Fox matchup,
Okay.
um, and just establishing because like it's really hard when you're playing games, like when you're playing melee, to keep all of the stuff that we've been talking about in mind at the same time.
Yes.
Generally, when you're playing and you're trying to improve, you want to pick like one thing to improve on, like one thing to focus on, and then pretty much just ignore absolutely everything else. So
Okay.
like yesterday, I was playing with a good Falco, and I was like, okay, I know my neutral game is I don't know what to do in neutral against Falco, but I've seen like face roll and Swedish doing run up shield. So I'm just gonna do nothing but run up shield, and I'm just gonna spam it and learn as much
That's
about
a
it as
pretty good
possible.
option, I've noticed. Yeah.
Yeah, it
I
is
know it.
because
Yeah.
narrative shield is one of your strongest options against Falco. Um,
I've been working on that actually. Last night I hit 5 in a row on the Jigglypuff. So
nice.
yeah, I was pretty pumped about that. I went from not even knowing what to do to like having it somewhat down.
Mm-hmm.
But putting it into a match is a whole different story.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
And the
definitely.
full hop's not that bad if you accidentally misinput a
Yeah,
full hop.
especially well if you're so if like Falco or or the other characters at low percents, then it can be good to do full hop nair at a shield because then you just drift to a platform. Um, so it's definitely not the worst, and it's used a lot when your opponent's at crouch cancel percent because like
Hold
another
on, I'm
like
gonna
a
share this with you.
okay cool like a
But yeah,
big
what were you saying?
big thing with nair with short hop nair when you're hitting someone that's crouch canceling it is that like you pretty much have to fade all the way back in order for them to not be able to punish you. So if you're like nearing a shield and you're kind of like towards the corner and like underneath the right like a platform, you have to fade back pretty much all the way into the corner, which can mess you up. So that's why full hop
So
nair
what's
is good.
Oh, dude, honestly, something that you said to me too since we last talked that I've been like, it's been blowing my mind lately, actually, now that I noticed it, is like what to do after like Falco lasers. Like just dealing with that is a whole different game in itself, I feel
Yeah,
like.
yeah, it's a mini game. And
Yeah,
you'll find
I don't even wanna like think about it. I wanna focus on this one first, but I
uh
was just
huh
like, oh my god, there's so much depth to this and I didn't even realize it, you know?
yeah definitely
It's crazy.
yeah because like you have all of your you have like your standard options like out of laser. Like you have like take laser, dash back, take laser, F tilt, take laser, shield. Like try and like get a good narrow to shield or something like that. Take
Yeah, and I
laser,
even
like full
watched
hop to
like
the platform. And then you have also like tons of other stuff that's like more niche that you'll also run into a few times. It will also be
I
important
saw
for.
none like SDI forward and then just move ahead of the laser.
Yeah, yeah,
I was like, what?
that's something that Drode Fox used to do. He would take a laser, and that's also something I've seen other Sheiks in the Sheik Discord do, is take a laser
Mm.
and then dash forward, and then shield stop in front of Falco, power shield the laser that he shoots, and then fuck him up for it. You can also do dash forward after taking laser and dash attack to get under him if he's shooting a high laser. But yeah, it's a whole thing. It's a whole different batch of mix ups. Um,
Okay, something else that I've like noticed about my gameplay a lot is I do a lot of boost grabs and not very many jump cancel grabs.
so boost grab is generally better in boost grab is generally better in neutral, just because it goes farther.
Yeah,
um,
but
jump
when I'm
cancel
tech chasing
grab.
specifically.
So when you're tech chasing, boost grab is also generally better, just because it goes farther and you need that length, especially
Okay,
for tech chasing Falco.
okay.
Like again, if you're tech chasing Falco, it's pretty much impossible to tech chase him with jump cancel grab, but it is what you can tech chase him with boost grab. And generally, like the main usage for jump cancel grab is when you're trying to whiff punish, right? But you're not totally sure if you can get it because or like if you're in neutral and you're really close together because like it does have significantly less lag than boost grab does.
Yeah.
Um, and then also
Well,
when you're comboing Marth, you want to be jump cancel grabbing instead of boost grabbing on the regrab when he DIs away. So it's and then like against like Peach, you want to be jump cancel grabbing to get the regrab on DI away as well.
okay.
But then against like SHEIK, you want to be dash grabbing because I forget why we want to be dash grabbing. I
So
think
it's
because
different. It's different against matchups. There's no like one like
yeah,
rule
exactly.
of
It's
thumb.
something you have to
Okay.
like figure out matchup by matchup. But
Oh
as a
man.
general rule, boost grab and neutral. Like boost grab when you want to kind of like overshoot or cover distance, and jump cancel grab when you don't need to cover distance and you don't want to be in lag for as long. So like if you're like say you're up tilting, right? Like you're up tilting
Uh huh.
someone's shield and you want to grab them after the second hit, generally you want to be either standing grab or jump cancel grab there. Because the time like because it comes out like earlier or on the same frame as boost grab, and because if the character acts out of shield and you can't grab them, then you're not going to be at as much risk of getting whiff punished.
So, so like, what's like the difference with like I know it's like it's like better frame data for the jump cancel grab versus like a standing grab, right?
Yeah.
I just feel like I always
Oh no,
frame
so
standing
jump
grab
jump
and not
cancel
jump
grab.
cancel
So
grabs.
standing grab is better. Standing grab comes out on. So basically, standing grab is the fastest. Standing grab, I think, is the fastest grab.
Really,
Um,
so no jump cancel grab. Like so like when you're tech chasing and they tech in place, what are you throwing out to re-grab?
just standing grab, because if you
Really?
think
I
about
thought it
it,
was the other way around.
jump cancel grab means that so you're canceling your jump with the grab, which means
Okay.
that no matter how fast you input it, it will always be at least one frame slower than the normal grab, than standing grab, because you're going into
Oh,
jump for at least one frame.
yeah.
So it's going to be at
Okay.
least one frame slower.
Okay. Yeah, I can. Okay, but then so why do so people jump cancel grab like I notice a lot like when they're like dash dancing like shuffling.
So jump hit. So like when they're whiff punishing, or just like a neutral, or
Yeah, like in neutral. Yeah, so say like Fox comes down with a nair and like Sheik dashes back, and then she'll come forward and jump cancel grab. Usually, I've noticed.
because okay. So actually, I'm gonna try and does this website have the what frame data for the different grabs?
Yeah,
Okay, let's.
actually, I think it might just be regular grab. Yeah, they don't have the jump cancel grab one. They just have dash grab and standing
Okay,
grab.
so standing grab has 6 frame startup, and dash grab has 8 frame startup. So this means that if you do a frame perfect standing grab, it'll come out on 7 frames. Whereas so it's always going to be faster than dash grab no matter what. Um, so if you need so that extra
Okay.
frame or two, like that extra frame, when compared with normal dash grab, is a big deal sometimes because like sometimes like shine is a 1 frame move, right? So if you're trying to whiff punish like Fox naring at you, then that 1 frame can mean the difference between getting shined or beating out the shine.
Oh, so it's situational.
Yeah, because it is like so for that kind of situation, you definitely want to be using jump cancel grab because it is faster than boost grab. But if you need to cover more distance, then you want to be boost grabbing. Generally, you never ever want to be just straight up dash grabbing because it's
Okay.
slower. It's slower than standing grab, and it doesn't cover as much ground as boost grab.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. That's what I was trying to like kind of grasp is the situations where like stand and grab is the best and, for like jump cancel grab. So like when they're right in front of you, you want to stand and grab and then instead of dash grab, you either boost grab or jump cancel grab depending on the situation.
Yeah,
If,
exactly.
if I'm hearing that right.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay,
I mean, the
understood.
ultimate dream goal is to have your move, so, like the move so precisely that you don't even need to move for the grab. Um, because SHEIK has
Oh.
one of the longest grabs in the game. I think she's
Yeah, I've
like
definitely noticed
after.
that.
So there's like there's the tether characters, right? And then there's
Yeah,
Marth,
the Marth.
and then there's SHEIK. So her
Yeah.
grab is
Okay.
actually really long range. So you can use grab to outspace shine. Like that's something Kirby Kaze talked about for like learning how to tech chase. Like basically he would learn to position himself such that if Fox or Falco shined, it wouldn't hit him, but he could still get them with grab. And he's probably one of the best tech chasers of all time, and that's the
Oh
method he used
yeah,
for it.
dude, you could just like break down like certain DIs on certain tech chases. Like talk about it for hours. I
Yeah.
was trying like, yeah. Sometimes, okay. So one of my things with tech chasing is I think it's definitely my strong point in my game.
Yeah,
But
I
I
think
feel
so
like
too.
when they get to the edge, I feel like, oh no, you know what? I feel like I'm most likely to just keep re-grabbing sometimes, and I don't have like the situational like awareness to be like, oh, let me go for like an up smash here and try to get a combo going. You know what I
So
mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. So I mean,
Or if they're going off stage, I'm like, oh, let me rip a down air or a down smash and
mhm.
try and get him like like in an edge guard situation, I guess.
So there's a few things to talk about there. I'll just start with using up smash as a read. So generally you don't want to. Every sheik is different, but generally you want to start reading with up smash. Like once it starts really popping up so that you can F tilt after it or dash attack after it. So that's at like 30 to 40 or so. Um, but then also it has the advantage of when you're tech chasing a spacey under below that percent. If you up smash them, like if you read them with up smash, it's gonna knock them down and put them in a mistech, like in a mistech or in a tech situation. So you can then continue your tech chase and getting a little bit of extra percent, or getting a knocked or forcing them to mistech. But generally, but then also a big thing with up smash is that in order to use it well, like in order to tech chase and read with up smash and have it be worthwhile, you need to be practicing in either spam it in friendlies or grind it out in Uncle Punch or whatever, so that you know exactly when it starts being profitable, and so that you know when you can start following up on it and what you can follow up on it with.
Okay.
Because if you just up smash and bracket, right, if you just like read a Spacey's tech away from up smash, and you up smash them but you don't know what to do.
Wait, can you catch a roll with up smash?
Yeah. So you can. This is something if
they
you
roll
want
like into you, you know.
Yeah, if you want to start practicing up smash, a good thing to do would be to take Falco, right, and go into Uncle Punch, set him to tech away, down throw him, and then practice getting a run cancel up smash on him, and then set him to DI behind and practice getting a run cancel up smash on him, and then set him to tech in place and get a run cancel up smash on him, and just practice all those three different up smash situations, and practice getting a combo started off them. Because it is like the run cancel up smash you need to actually get the tech chase does require a little bit of practice if you're trying to tech chase DI away or DI behind with up smash.
Yep. Okay.
But yeah, generally, I mean, it's just something you gotta like go into the lab and figure out. Like, you gotta figure out like what percent up smash becomes profitable. Like, what percent does it pop the spacey or like the fast baller up onto the platform? What percent does it lead to an F tilt? What percent does it lead to like a down smash or a dash attack? All these different things.
Yeah. And then there's option coverage because you know, like in certain situations, like when they tech in place and then they roll away, but there's like a ledge.
Yeah, that's another layer.
You can cover like most of the options with a down smash, right?
Yeah, and then also so on platforms, you can cover like 3 out of the 4 tech options without smash, especially on the shorter. I think on the big platforms you can cover 3 out of 4, and I think if you on the small platforms you can cover everything.
Yeah, I love to just get in the middle of platforms and just wait for them to like do their tech option and just rip an up smash. Honestly, up smash is like one of my favorite moves on.
Yeah, it's awesome. So I love it.
Yeah.
And then there's also the super niche situation where you can basically so something to remember about tech options is that they all start being vulnerable at the same time. So if you have a Fox in the corner or like really Fox or Falco anywhere, you can time your up smash so that one side of it hits the tech in place, and then the other side of it hits them as they're rolling because they're going to come out of invincibility as they're rolling. But I don't think it's worth practicing just because it's so hard.
Yeah.
But it is something to kind of think about. I like to kind of think about as one more instance of up smash covering. Because basically the idea is that
you can hit someone out of their roll, right?
Yeah.
Like at a certain, not like maybe like halfway or something. You can hit them out of their roll.
So I'm gonna
halfway through the animation, I guess.
Yeah, I believe they become out of.
Oh, there's rolls on this site I sent you.
Oh. Oh my.
Yeah, SHEIK's rolls are there. So it's honestly it's not half at all. It seems like on SHEIK.
Yeah. So
4 through
Backward
19
roll.
and 31 total. 2/3, basically.
Where's the tech in place? Oh, that's just.
Oh, this is just. Oh, okay. This is just roll from shield. Damn.
Um, I think I have a good smash boards. Wait, is this? Okay, I'm going down the smash boards rabbit hole. So tech. Okay, so tech in place. Last 26 frames for everyone, and it's invincible from frames 1 through 20.
Oh, can you share your screen?
Oh yeah, I can. I got you. Okay, so we got the. I'll blow it up for you. So we got tech. So tech in place right here. For everyone else besides Pichu and Pikachu, it's invincible from frames 1 through 20.
Oh man, I wonder how they conceived these numbers when they were developing this game.
And then
so
also,
right?
so like if you look at like Falcon, I assume this is true for every character. His tech roll forward and his tech roll backward are also invincible from frame 1 through 20. And they last 40 total frames.
Falcon is so easy to tech chase.
Yeah, because his roll just goes nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's.
Yeah, so every tech except for Pikachu and Pikachu is vulnerable from 1 through 20 frames. Is invincible from 1 through 20 frames, and then vulnerable for the rest.
So yeah, I shared those games to you through Google Drive.
Oh, okay. Sure.
So I don't. So I remember playing these and being like, okay, there's some really good box games. I'm excited to show you, but
is this
I'm
the
not exactly...
Fox Friendly's 224?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
So and this guy was better than the last guy I played. So, but that's just all I remember. I don't remember like any specific details. I don't remember if I even won the games.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right, want to get into it? So actually, before we get into it, I'm just gonna go over. I made a bit of a lesson plan for today, kind of just continuing on what we talked about last time.
That's tight.
Which is playing the percent game, like we talked about. So nothing but bear grab and needles until Fox is at knockdown percent. Continuing discussion on risk reward, especially as it relates to playing the percent game, right? Because the risk reward on your moves changes drastically once Fox goes from crouch cancel to knockdown percent. As well as when it comes to like scrapping with Fox, because like we talked about, Fox has an easier time like scrapping and getting a reward out of it than with SHEIK than SHEIK does. And then also talking about interaction with Fox's threat range, like we did last time, and all the different layers, which I'm going to try and focus on with this game. Just talking about short hop, overshot, shine, down tilt, and full hop aerials, all having different ranges and options needed to counter them. And then you also have to think about how to handle Fox just dash dancing in place. Classifying Foxes, where they can't be aggressive or somewhere in between. Converting off punishes, which will be really big with any fastballer matchup. Good positioning, and also that crisp, clean movement. That's what we're looking out for. We're looking out for if we can tighten up your movement in any place possible.
One more thing I'd like to add too is something that I've been focusing on that I also haven't been the best at is my options after crouch cancel. So like I feel like
that's a big one.
Then I'll get an opening and I have no idea what to do with it, and I'll throw out like a shitty down tilt or something. So if you notice any of that too, that'd be huge.
Okay, yeah. So crouch cancel against Fox is weird because he has so many different options to get past crouch cancel. So it means that when you do get those crouch cancel opportunities, you need to be maximizing them as much as you can. So I'm making a Google Doc for notes at the moment.
That's really sick. I've been taking notes on my laptop.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get just a general grasp of like your trajectory. And like what you're improving on from like session to session, and like what's still like kind of like lagging behind from session to session.
Yes.
because like because like you can kind of think of it like there are two kind of like schools of thought with melee, and one is more dominant than the other. And the first one, the more dominant one, is that you want to push your strengths as much as possible and just use them to create like checkmate situations. Like, so if you get really good at like edge guarding, then you back throwing a fox or a falco off stage is almost like a checkmate situation, and you can get like lots of openings off of that, like lots of kills.
Speaking of
Um,
openings, something I find really interesting about this game is actually like the first 5 seconds of the match.
okay, yeah, and the other way
Like,
is to just get good at everything, which is
yes.
kind of like the Mango like school of thought, or like the Armada school of thought. Although like you can also say that like those players just got their punch game really good at first, so they got to take care of those checkmate situations. But anyways, um,
Yeah, but like, what do you typically do like in the first 5 seconds?
so
On FD, I usually just wave dash back, start charging needles.
that can be good. So the thing that so what where that kind of falters is you can see right here behind the go screen that Fox is already doing what counters that, because he's just shooting his gun. Um, and
Oh,
a
dude, I
bit,
didn't notice. You can move on the go. I
yeah.
didn't even notice that. That's crazy.
So like it's different on platform stages, because on platform stages, if Fox wants to, if you're on the platform and you decide to charge needles, if Fox wants to disrupt that, whilst like if he wants to shoot lasers at that, he has to full hop laser. But so then that if you aren't charging needles, that gives you a chance to just take center for free.
Okay.
But it's different from player to player. Like it depends on how good you are using your needles, or like whether you're trying to practice them in the session or stuff like that. Because
Yes.
like I personally just like to play for center from the get go, except against like
Okay.
Falco. Um, so like right here, I would be. I'll break out snipping tool.
Are you streaming right now?
I'm recording. Just so
Because I was
can.
gonna say, dude, if you were streaming, like it's way faster than your screen share.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was like, that's what I was watching it through last time we talked.
Okay. Yeah, I'll start streaming then. Confirm and go live. Okay, I'll pull up. Okay, I'm going live right now.
All right, I got it pulled up.
And then I'll do a nice little. Okay, so I got my snipping tool. I'm streaming.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna
Yep.
pull up
I can see it.
this screenshot. So what I would be trying to do in this situation is I would be trying to get to right there, because right there is where Fox's threat range extends to, that red X. Um, because like he can cover about this much space, that green line. So what you want to be doing is getting as close to him as possible without putting yourself at risk of being hit. Die. Okay, got it. I got
Hello?
the snipping tool. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, my computer just give me one sec.
Okay.
I can still hear you and see you though.
Uh-huh. So what should we do? What I would be doing, and I think this is probably the best option here, is just getting to this getting to this point where you're outside of Fox's range, but you're still at a position where you can whiff punish him if he does throw out an aerial. Because like this is like something that like Spark talks about. He says that basically you don't want to fight for space, but you want to you want to get as much of it as possible, like you get as much of it as possible that Fox gives you. So if Fox is shooting, if Fox is giving you space by shooting this laser, because so like when Fox shoots this laser, right? It's a little hard to draw with a go, but when Fox shoots this laser, you pretty much have free reign to approach, right? Because Fox is giving up control of the space around him for a little bit, so you don't have to worry about dashing in and getting hit. You're totally free to dash all the way in, as long as you again respect Fox's threat range. Because like even if you like if Fox is lasering like this, you still just by the nature of the matchup, you still do have to respect him, just because his options from the standing position are still incredibly good. Like he can still just short out nair or drill you or like running shine you. But when he's lasering like this, you do get to take some space. So this laser is an example of him giving you space that you can then take. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, can you hear me? Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay, sweet. Yeah. So does that all sound good?
Oh, dude, I think you're, something's echoing or something. I'm hearing like audio feedback. It's like tripping me up.
Uh oh.
Hold on, I'm gonna hang up for a sec. I'll be right
Okay.
back.
How's it sounding?
Hello?
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 I can hear you. Can you hear me? Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Hello.
What's up, man? Sorry about that.
All good?
Yeah, we all good.
Okay, sweet. So were you able to hear when I was talking about like what Fox lasering means?
It was really confusing though, because I heard like two different voices, like your voice, like twice. Like once was delayed.
Okay. Yeah, I checked my mic just now and I didn't hear any delay.
It was.
So-
I had no idea it was my computer. It was being weird. I had to restart it.
Okay.
We're good now.
So yeah, so what I was talking about was that when Fox lasers, like in the snip I have up, like at the very start of the game,
Yes.
he's not like when he lasers, he's not exerting any threat when he lasers. Like he's not controlling space at all when he lasers. So that means that you have pretty much free reign to dash up to him. Because like if Fox didn't laser at game start, I'm gonna show where he could go in red pen. If he didn't laser at game start, he could be like dashing up and like threatening like this range by now, right? But because he lasered, you get a little bit of extra space that you can take away from him.
Yeah.
And
That's kind of like what people usually do to me.
yeah,
I'm usually charging needles.
yeah, exactly. Because when you're doing that stuff, like SHEIK is a little bit different because you can cancel your needles really quickly. So you can always still threaten like a boost grab or like an F tilt or like a dash attack and stuff like that. But Fox is in the air, so he's in lag for like probably like he's unable to act for probably like 15 or 20 more frames, I think. So that means you can just dash up and take space from him, and that's really important because in this matchup, like I was saying earlier, like the reason you want to have space, like the reason you want to have center stage, isn't necessarily to hit Fox in the corner, but it's because you get so much more space to dash back and wave dash back with. Because those are the key parts of neutral against Fox. Because really what you want to be doing is you want to be setting up favorable defensive positions where if he aerials into you or running shines into you, you can just react with like a back air or a forward air or like when he's at higher percents like an F tilt. So by taking the space, you're allowing yourself to do that stuff more frequently. And also, just because SHEIK is one of the characters that's just terrible in the corner, because a backbone of her neutral game is dash and wave dash back. So if you're in the corner, then you have a lot of your options taken away from you. Like it's less so against like slower characters that you can aerial, but against like Fox and Falco, it's really hard to actually play the game when you're in the corner. So that's another reason why I want to be aggressive with taking stage control. Like it's not necessarily being aggressive when it comes to hitting a Fox. It's about being aggressive with stage control, and really trying to take as much of it as possible. So, anyways, moving on.
I really think like the stuff I can improve the most is when I'm in the corner.
Yeah, because like if you think about it,
specifically on the ledge.
Oh yeah, the ledge for sure. Like SHEIK, like another like dimension of the corner is that SHEIK is one of the characters that gets like almost advantage off being on the ledge. Because if you can get your Gallant up high enough that you can get invincible F tilts and invincible nairs, and even possibly invincible grabs out, then people have to respect you on the ledge. They can't just attack into you.
But Fox is first by like a mile though, right?
Yeah, Fox can get. Like I was playing against a Fox. I lost to a Fox in the last bracket I played, who was just doing like when he was on the ledge, he was just doing nothing but ledge dash, short hop, invincible nairs. And
like,
by the
like
time,
kind of like the auto canceled nairs, like the frame ones. Yeah.
Yeah, like it was just, and like I just could, I like it was my first time ever playing against a fox that did that. So like he legit won like two games off of just nothing but ledge dash short hop nairs. Because every time I thought I had the right spacing to beat it, I was just he would just go a little bit further, and I just couldn't figure out how to deal with it in the moment. But anyways, so let's look at the game. Let's see what we got going on here. So I like this nair, or I like this fair rather, because you were almost close to hitting, and this nair is really good on shield. I mean, this fair is really good on shield. Um,
Jab would have been great as a follow up.
Not necessarily, because one thing is with jab is that it can always be punished. Because basically, so like if Fox is still shielding right here, like so if imagine you're landing right, you've landed, then Fox is still shielding right here. What Fox can do is he can take the first jab and then try and act out of shield, and then ASDI down while he's acting out of shield. And then if you do a second jab, then he just ASDIs down again and is able to get like a grab or a shine off of it. So generally you want to be staying away from jab whenever possible. There are some specific characters where jab is good against. Like jab is good against like Puff as a kill confirm, because you can just like run cancel jab to fair her. And it's kind of better against the floatier characters, as it'll knock up it higher in the sky. But you really want to be
spam crouch cancel too much, right?
Yeah, like you just want to be staying away from jab as a neutral option, just because it has so many clear counter cases, like counter options.
Yeah,
And especially because like 4 or 5 years ago, you could probably get away with jabbing, but now that everyone is just like ASDIing down and CCing like crazy, it's just going to be a riskier option than it used to be. And it's like also when you think about it, like if we think about this in terms of risk reward, like a jab is pretty much zero reward. Like it doesn't really do anything. Whereas like the risk of getting like CC shines or like CC backer or whatever, or CC grabbed, is just so much higher than the reward. Like it's a high risk, low reward move, and that's why when we're thinking about jab, it's different against like high percent Puff, because then it becomes like a high reward move because it's one of your best ways to convert into forward air. But at low percent, it's high risk or low reward. And it's different. Like it's different with characters like Falcon because they can gentleman. But with SHEIK, there's just like no reward off of it. Or like if Falcon lands a jab, then he can just gentleman and get some decent percent in stage position. But SHEIK only has second jab. She can't really do anything with it. You're giving up a little bit too much space here. Like if you look at, okay, I'm gonna pause it. I'm trying to pause on a good frame.
Yeah.
So if you look at this right here, like Fox is all the way in the corner, right? So I'm gonna bring up snipping tool again. He's giving you a lot of space right here. So basically again, Fox's threat range. I'm gonna stick to writing Fox's threat range in green. So Fox covers like about that much space. So you really could have advanced like up to about here. You really didn't need to down you didn't need to wave dash back or give up space at all. Like when you're thinking about spacing against like especially like against all characters, but especially against a character that has such clear like threat range, like such a clear threat range as Fox does. If you're at the right X or you're behind it, it doesn't make a difference in terms of what options you're actually spacing around.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
Like you're not gaining anything by retreating back here. If anything, you're losing because you're losing stage control. And like we just talked about, like stage control is really big in this matchup because it gives you more space to leave dash back and dash back with. And it also gives you more space to do stuff like dash away, short hop bear, or dash forward, short hop back fair, stuff like that. So by wave dashing back here, you're just losing opportunities.
Yes, I understand that. You know what's so funny? Have you ever played the Fire Emblem games?
I have not actually. I think I played. My dad bought me a Fire Emblem game on the Game Boy Advance way back in the day, but I've never finished it.
Do you know how like the sword guys, they have 1 range, and the bow and arrow guys, they have like 2 range?
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't help but think of that. Like when you were explaining that, like I was just thinking about it in those terms.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does. Melee does kind of become like that. Like
Yeah.
it's most obvious against like Peach, because basically when Peach doesn't have a
Oh, do you
turn
think
up,
she wins or lose that matchup?
I
against
think
SHEIK?
Peach wins. I'm not Peach. I think Sheik wins.
Yeah, that's what.
but
some like I've seen some tier lists and they disagree on that. But
it's weird because like Peach is one of the best characters. Like Sheik is kind of weird because she's kind of like Fox in that she's in a lot of matchups she has a really strong neutral game, but she gets opened up really easily. Like when you get a strong hit on her, you can take it for a long time. Whereas if Peach lands a down tilt on Sheik, then Peach can take that for like 50 or 60% easily.
yeah.
But like Sheik's highest reward on Peach is like down throw to regrab to up air to forward air, and that's like 40%.
I feel like her fair is so good in that matchup. For
Yeah,
Sheik.
Sheik and Peach's fairs are both incredibly good in that matchup.
Yes, definitely.
Because like if you ever have some Peach games, we'll talk about like why that's true. But yeah, so what I was saying is that like Peach is kind of like, you can kind of think of her in Fire Emblem terms, like in those terms, because when she doesn't have a turn up, she's a swordsman. But when she does have a turn up, she's an archer, and you need to respect her at a different range than you would otherwise.
Oh, that is so true, dude. Definitely. Yeah. Do you like know the different turnips, like the faces of each one?
Just Stitch.
I have no idea.
I think
I have
with
no
Stitch,
clue on that still.
Stitch. I think Stitch is the best. I think Dot Eyes does like 10% or something like that, and then all the other ones do like 5 to 7, I believe.
Mm.
And there's also Mr. Saturn and the Bomb and Lightsaber.
That's crazy. Yeah, I was playing an unranked Peach like yesterday, and she pulled a sword. I was like, what?
Did she use like a lightsaber?
Now.
Did she swing?
Yeah. No, she dropped it actually. She didn't even realize she picked it up, and I just picked it up.
Nice.
And I threw it off stage. All right, let's keep going on this.
Yeah, definitely. So we land. Wave dash back here, not the move. You want to be taking space. And then what happens is after you're wave dashing back, you then do something else that doesn't gain, like that loses you stage position while not capitalizing on the space that Fox is giving you. Because if you look right here, like Fox is still giving you the same amount of space. Like he hasn't really moved too much. But I think you're either not looking at Fox right now, or you're just like not sure about how to take space in this matchup, because like this short hop you do doesn't accomplish anything. Like if you look at how far away Fox is right here, the short hop isn't really doing anything. Like it's not like, the reason you short hop against Fox is to needle him or to back air or to forward air him, and he's not in range of any of those things. So you're just, again, like by short hopping back, you're still losing space right here. Because like if you look at a situation Fox has right here, like look at how advantageous this is for Fox. Because by the time you land, right, Fox can already be like probably right about here, right? Because he's so fast he can cover that space really quickly. So when you land, by jumping right here, you're giving Fox a favorable situation, because not only could he whiff punish you if you land with an aerial, but he can also set up this position right here where he's threatening you, and he can then force a second air, like a second move out of you. So like for example, Like if Fox dashes forward here, and you see him dashing forward, you might like throw out a forward tilt, or like you might throw out a down smash, or like you might try and grab him upon landing because you see him running up to you. But he can then take advantage of that and whiff punish that move. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's kind of like I'm putting myself in a situation to have Fox read me.
Yeah, exactly. Because what all characters are looking for against SHEIK, especially the fast ones, is they're looking to bait out a bad swing from you and either CC it or whiff punish it.
Yeah,
So-
and I'm like giving him an opportunity to get baited.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So you're
I
just like
understand.
you're just giving him the chance for free right now, and this is like this
Mhm.
is probably if I'm gonna make a prediction and say that stuff like this is probably if you do lose this game, what loses you the game
Mm,
because you're just like you're wasted because like basically Fox is all the way in the corner, and the game has now progressed to a position where not only is Fox out of the corner, but he is in a position where he can directly threaten you and directly threaten your landing.
okay. So I gotta like recognize when characters are at a disadvantage and capitalize on that more.
Yeah, exactly. And the
gotcha.
best way to start would just be to start thinking about the game in terms of stage position. Like start thinking about the game in terms of who has center and who is in the corner. And just try and play with that in mind. As SHEIK, you want to be playing a lot of what your goals are as SHEIK are to actually secure center stage. Because when you think about it, SHEIK isn't because when you think about what it means when the character's in the corner, it means they don't have their dash back, right? So because of that, it becomes I think we talked about this last time, but it becomes a game of waiting to rock paper scissors, where you can just do like general purpose options, like you can just like dash dance in place, and like not only can you react to Fox staying in the corner and not doing anything, but he can also react to Fox like short hop aerialing out of the corner. So you can set up those positions, and you can set up really favorable situations for you. And then you also get the benefit of being able to dash back and dash back more. So I want you to be thinking about that, like that stuff. I want you to be thinking about that concept of playing for center stage. And I also want you to look at some like Drug Fox. Like Drug Fox is a great example because Drug Fox kind of plays SHEIK like he's playing Street Fighter. If you watch old videos of him, he's like I'll link you a specific Fox set that he played. I'll link you a set that he played against like a really campy Fox that just sat in the corner and lasered. And you'll see Drug Fox applying all these concepts. Like you'll see him applying the concept of like staying outside, like taking away space from Fox, staying outside of Fox's effective range, playing for center stage, and I think that would be very very fruitful to analyze. But yeah, so I want you to be playing for center stage. That's what I'm saying really, and try and just
Okay.
like see the game in that perspective.
Yes.
If you can find if you can find a Marth to play against, that would be a really good matchup to practice this stuff in.
Okay.
Because a lot of the SHEIK Marth matchup is SHEIK and Marth moving with each other, and each of them trying to put the other character in the corner. Because SHEIK loses her dash back and the dash back, which are really important for her to whiff punish Marth's moves, and Marth loses his dash back, which is really important for him to be able to escape pressure. So if you can, try and find a Marth, and try and actively play for center stage, try and actively push him into the corner, and then try and actively exploit the fact that he doesn't have dash back.
Okay.
So that means that not only is Fox or is Marth unable to whiff punish your aerials and your boost grab, and also your dash attack if he's at higher percent, but he's also forced to aerial out of the corner or throw moves out of the corner more often because that then safeguards him against you trying to throw out a boost grab when he's in the corner. So you can exploit that. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes.
Awesome. Let's go back into the game. So this is good. This is really good. So you take this situation. You take the situation. You're able to get a bear off of it. And if you look at So this is really good to kind of think about. This is a really good example of like how you play around spacing, because like it might seem like from this standing position, it might seem like you're not actually in a position to like cover fox dashing forward, but because of the combination of the short hop back that you do, as well as the bear that you do, you're actually able to cover fox approaching. And specifically in this instance, you're able to cover him approaching with a laser. Well, not really approaching with a laser, but firing a laser. Because he
it's just
thought
like a
he was
nice
out of range.
non-committal, safe option, you know?
Yeah, definitely. And then one thing you can also do, I think Spark does it. I know for sure Santiago did it back in the day. Would be so if you say like you're shopping right here, right, and say that fox didn't approach. So what you can then do is just a wavelane away or wavelane back towards him, and you can just do stuff
Towards
like
him?
that. Yeah, like if fox just like dashes back here, and like doesn't commit himself and just like dashes back into the corner again,
Yeah.
then you could just short hop toward. Like, you just wavelane towards him in this position.
Oh, that would be really smart, actually. I need to remember to start using that in my neutral game. I'm good at it, but only when sometimes I'll like see another person do it and I'll be like, oh yeah, that's an option.
Okay.
But,
I
I need to remember to start using that.
I will ask about that next time.
Yes.
So use wavelands out of short hop and neutral. Okay.
Okay.
So you get the bear, get the grab. Let's see how you convert off of it. Okay. So you want to be
like a good grab?
You want to be
no?
pummeling. You want to be pummeling.
Oh yeah.
So if you pummel, you get look at it. So okay. So with the pummel, he was at 9. You pummel him to 12.
Got to like
And you
the
down
F
throw him to
tilt
20.
knockdown range.
So you get 11% off of your down throw, whereas normally you get, I think it was 12. Like normally you get 8%, and that might not seem like a lot, but it actually that means that instead of taking 3 down throws to get fox out of crouch cancel percent, or like ASCI down to get him to knockdown percent, it only takes 2 to get him to knockdown percent. And that's big, because then once he gets knockdown percent, then like up smash becomes like more favorable. You can start and then you can start like that. You can keep on re-grabbing him. Like you can react to tech in place with like down smash or F tilt, like all that kind of stuff. So I want you to be pummeling after your down throws. Yeah, let's look at this grab.
Bad grab, or would like a good player like be able to counter that pretty well?
It depends. Because I think this grab was a bit of a reach, because if you look at the frame advantage, so Fox is out of leg right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You had you were basically at -5 or like -4 in terms of frame advantage. So that means that Fox had significantly more time to dash back or to throw out a hitbox with,
or even just spot dodge.
Yeah, or even just spot dodge. But he shielded here, so it worked out. But yeah, so this is
I
actually
am a SHEIK main, so.
So this is a situation where we can talk about effective range again, because if you look right here,
that like nice bear,
you are in Fox's threat range. Like he can just short hop forward and drill you at in this position, and he can also short hop forward and nair you. And but the thing about I would caution against short hopping and going for an aggressive bear here, because if you think about the situation and the spacing, Fox is close enough and he has enough time that if you throw out a short hop right here and don't short hop away, then Fox can just hit you out of the air before you even have a chance to aerial. So if you short hop here, if you short hop in place or towards Fox right here, you're putting yourself at risk. Whereas if you had, say, I'll outline this in green. If you would say dash back to right there, and then done a short hop, then you would have been able to cover this space that Fox is threatening, while also getting away. You see how that kind of works?
I bet if you looked like all of my missed tech chases, I guarantee you, like 90% of them, I probably follow up like that
Okay,
instead of like resetting neutral, like you're suggesting.
so that's the next thing.
Yeah,
Um,
like I probably throw out grabs like that all the time.
yeah, it's back to what we were talking about last time with Nun's lesson to Scar. Like
Yep,
if you think about it,
exactly.
you're in disadvantage right here, right?
Hmm.
And you're trying to turn your disadvantage into into a neutral win, rather than turning your disadvantage into an even state.
Yeah, when I'm tech chasing though, I go in kill mode. Like I gotta like realize, like assess the situation more. I guess I'm only thinking about going for the grab when I'm in tech chase mode. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of like what I was telling you about earlier, like trying to do like up smashes more and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's hard. It's really hard
Yeah.
to be able to switch modes, and it's something you'll pick up as you play more.
Yes. I
Oh,
bet you like a lot of like Sheik mains at my level have the same problem.
yeah, yeah. This is one of the most. So I've been doing match analysis for the SHEIK Discord for quite a while, um, and one of the most common pieces of advice I give to players is to just stop swinging so goddamn much. Just because with
So readable.
yeah, it's so readable, and especially like a lot of people swing. Like so when you see like top sheet players swing, they'll swing when the risk reward is good, and usually that means they'll swing when their moves actually lead to combos and when their moves actually knock down. But if you look at a lot of Sheik players, like a lot of newer Sheik players, they'll be swinging all the time, but they'll be swinging when their moves are bad risk reward wise. They'll be swinging against Fox with like F tilt when Fox is at 0, and then they'll just get punished for it. Or they'll be like down smash when Fox is at 0, and then on hit he punishes it. Stuff like that. So you get the Okay, I like the tech chase. You turn the back throw into a solid situation. And you're tumbling?
You ever do that by accident?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I want to see you
You know,
consistently
something I
pummeling,
actually
though.
noticed. Oh, what was that?
I do want to see you pummeling, though, because like it feels like you're doing it
Yeah.
like you're pummeling every other down throw.
Honestly, I think it was just a bad habit I got into this session. Usually I do pummel. I'm surprised.
Okay, I believe it. Okay, so here you should just be punching the side shield.
Yeah, that was weird spacing by me, honestly. Yeah, I coulda went in a little bit there.
Yeah, so let's look at the frame advantage, right? So you are able to act right now. Fox is in leg, and he's in leg for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's in leg for 7 frames.
Oh, I could have shield grabbed.
Yeah, you could have shield grabbed. You could have shield grabbed, you could have nared. Because nair would have hit him right here. Because nair is frame 6, right? And also, like, at this percent, like, it starts to be the percent where Fox can kind of just DI, like, tech away every time on the tech chase. Or, do DI to survive. He can DI away to make it, like, DI the down throw away to make it harder for you, and then just keep on mixing up his techs. Because you don't get anything off of the down throw when he DIs away. But a good thing to know is that, at higher percents, I forget exactly when, I think it starts at about 80 or so. If you down throw the fast faller and they don't DI or they DI behind, you can F tilt or down smash them. So that's one thing to be aware of. But you could have
Okay, wait.
this.
When a fox is at like 70 like this, does that like mean anything to you?
So when a fox is at 70, generally I stop going for grabs and I start going for dash attacks.
Okay.
And I also I look for F tilt more often because F tilt is really immediate at this percent.
Yeah.
So this is kind of like the zone from like probably 50 or 60 to about 85, I would say, is where F tilt is really the most juicy. And it's also where dash attack is the most juicy. So that's kind of what you want to be looking for at this percent. And then once you get over the 100s, generally you're going to be looking for strong aerials, because down throw spaces are probably going to DI away, so they won't give you the DI behind down smash.
Mhm.
Um, and dash attack will also stop comboing quite as well. Um, so there's definitely, like, you definitely want to think about it as like kind of windows, and this is something you should be doing. You should be doing for every matchup. Like, you should be trying to think about, okay, so Peach is at 40%. So that means that down throw is going to lead to a platform tech chase. Forward tilt is going to lead to a fair. Down throw on the center of the stage is going to lead to an up air or a forward air, stuff like that. Now you want to keep on like building that understanding percent by percent. Yeah, the end goal is to have that kind of like model in place for every matchup. So like you should, like, especially with SHEIK, like when you have down throw, you should, the most important thing to be thinking is, when does down throw start killing them? And then once down throw starts killing them, you should start looking for down throw. And the same goes for everything else. Like when does dash attack pop up for a fair? When does forward tilt pop up for, like, when does dash attack pop up for a downer, like we were talking about?
So I think I've gotten like enough games in to where like I kind of know that subconscious. Like, do you know what I mean? I've played enough of all the matchups, I think,
Yeah,
that I have
definitely.
like a rough idea. But sometimes it usually takes me like the first game to kind of get a feel for the weight of the character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, that's something you'll get more. But like, yeah, so that'd be another thing to look at pros for. Like, look at face roll and like watch him play against Fox, and just like track how, like, what options come online at different percentages, and like what things he starts to look for at different percentages. And then you can also kind of extend that to like when you're looking at like, okay, like what percent is he looking for a dash attack, and then you can start thinking about like, okay, so I see that he's going for a dash attack at this percentage. What movement pattern is he using that allows him to create the dash attack? And then just keep on going down the rabbit hole with all of the different options. Because like, really important thing with SHEIK is that like every movement option allows you to react with something different. Like dash dance and wave dash are fundamentally different, because if you're dash dancing, you can't F tilt. Whereas if you're wave dashing, you can. And like, you know, like then like it's obvious with stuff like short hop. Like, of course you can short hop. Like, you can short hop falling needle, right? If you're short hopping, but you can't really needle if you're wave dashing, right? Does that make sense?
Yes.
So each movement option allows you to cover different things. So you want to be kind of changing your movement accordingly. Okay. All right.
Wait. I have to ask something. Have you ever thought about like? So I watched. You saw like some of Fiction's videos, right?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, I've seen Fiction's videos.
Oh yeah. Because what he does is he watches the whole set first, and then he goes back to like individual things he notices constantly throughout the match.
Yeah, we can do
Because
that.
I feel like some of this is just because it's like the first game and I'm kind of getting used to it. But if you there might be things that are more important that I do over and over and over again.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Throughout the 3 games. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes
and
sense.
then this way, we can just keep talking about general stuff, and then we can break down specific things you notice.
Yeah, definitely. Also, okay, so let me know then if there are any things that you think would be good to like break down in more detail.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure. Okay, you interrupted Fox's threat range with the F tilt. Very nice. Good stuff. Okay.
Oh, I'm feeling that.
That was almost a really good fair.
Something I've been trying to do in these friendlies is, I don't know if it comes in through here, but I've been trying to do like the up B poof on the side, off the ledge.
Onto stage from the blast
Yeah,
zone?
from running off the stage onto ledge.
Oh, yeah, that's fun. That's fun. It's not.
Do you ever do that in bracket
It's
or
not
no?
super useful. There are easier ways to grab the ledge.
I've seen Spark do it as like a combo extender. It's so nuts.
Okay.
Oh, that was so poor execution. Oh, something I noticed about my controller, I plugged in like the M overlay thing. Oh, see, that was a. But you know the M overlay? It's like the thing that like shows your controller inputs on the screen.
Yeah.
So, I went back to like my OG controller, and I noticed the dead zones on it aren't exactly in the center, like my the new one I got is.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Controllers are all different.
Like one's kind of, yeah, but like, is that like that big of a deal?
I don't think controllers are that big of a deal until you get to into the top level. Because until you
Okay.
reach like top 50 or like top 100, there's always going to be stuff you can be doing that doesn't depend on your controller.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I just feel like it's like, I don't know. I like this one better, but
Yeah. I think like one part about Melee is that unless you want to just buy like a $200 controller from someone, you kind of have to
Yeah.
play the controller lottery.
yeah,
And try and find a really good one.
Uh-huh.
Or like one thing you
The
can do
new one I got.
if you have
The
multiple
new one I
controllers.
got's like the ultimate one.
Oh, so one
What?
thing you can do with that is if you have another controller that has good
Uh-huh.
triggers, because I know the ultimate triggers are really bad. You
Yeah.
could just swap out the back of the ultimate controller with the back of an old controller. That's what I did for
Really?
for
Because
my
I
main
actually do
tournament
have some old
controller.
controllers with good triggers on it, but the sticks suck.
Okay. So I think he did all right in that game. I think the big thing I noticed
Yeah.
was that when you were kind of. So when it came to doing aerials and doing movement, you were kind of doing one or the other. You weren't really mixing them. Like you would do, like you kind of had like clear modes,
yeah.
like that you moved between. Like you had your
Yeah.
I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna back air, and you had your I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna back air mode, and then you had I'm just gonna move
totally
around.
noticed
mode.
myself doing that.
So you
Yeah,
got
I
it.
know what you're talking about for sure.
Oh god, what happened? So what? So like when you're doing stuff like this, right? What you want to be doing? Where did you start doing it? So what you want to be doing when you throw out an aerial is generally you want to be dashing. You want to be dashing out of it. So you want to be like throwing an aerial, like say right here. Right here, you want to be dashing out of this. Because like the fundamental part about SHEIK that makes her whole game work is that when you throw out an aerial, you're kind of forcing your opponent to give you space, right? Especially, and like you're throwing an aerial to force your opponent to give you space, and then if it's either like auto cancel fair or back air, they're either so long ranged and or so quick to recover that it's really hard for your opponent to directly punish you for them. So like even here, like the fair was so big, right? Like if you look at how much space Fox had to respect, like he's giving you the full, like he's staying a full fair away from you, right? So by doing that, he was just giving you a chance to dash back and to reset the situation. Because then if you see him, right, like if you're dashing back after this aerial and you see him throwing out this grab, then it becomes a situation where it becomes a situation where you actually have an advantage over Fox. And you can kind of do that with repeated aerials, right? But if you start doing that with repeated aerials, then the Fox is going to do stuff like when he sees you landing from an aerial, he's just going to start like instant like short hop nairing you and interrupting you. So you want to be like you kind of combining your movement with your aerials. So you want to be like doing an aerial and then dashing back, or like doing a short hop fair and then dashing away. And then like
And
when
that's just something I can just practice, right? Like trying
Yeah.
to get like the muscle memory of it.
yeah, so I think I mentioned this last time, but if you go into 20XX, I think you can do it in Knuckle Punch too. But if you go into like 20XX, I think everything past like 3.02 has it. You can go into the debug menu and set up color overlays so that when you're in
Yeah.
wait, so when you're not
I've done
doing
that
anything,
before.
yeah, so just like set a color overlay, like set it red or green or yellow or whatever to wait,
To wait.
and then practice doing an aerial and then dashing out of it without seeing any
Oh.
of the color overlay. And do
Okay.
the same thing for your tilts, because like it's also really important to be dashing out of tilts as fast as you can. Um, because like if you think about it, Sheik is a zoner, right? She's not like an aggressive rushdown character. So she relies on being able to set up these really hard to interact with like aerial situations, where your opponent has to take on some risks in order to approach into you. This is also why I think why I'm stressing stage control so much, because if you have stage control, then you allow yourself to do these aerials and to dash back much more freely, and you have to force your opponent to play that game much more often. Whereas, like, if you're in the corner, you don't get to play that game at all, and that's one of Streak's strongest, that's one of her biggest advantages.
Yeah. I can honestly picture that exact scenario. Like, I can picture trying to, like, pressure a fox about a platform away while they're on the edge versus in the center. It's, like, a completely different game.
Yeah, exactly. I'll link
Totally.
you to...
It's funny that I didn't realize that, though. Like, the way you explained it made so much sense.
Awesome. But
Yeah.
I'll link you to... There's this, like... So in Street Fighter, in Japan, there are 5 players known as the 5 gods of Street Fighter, and they're all Japanese. It's actually where the idea for the 5 gods of Melee came from.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
Because
hilarious.
they've all been
Wait,
playing
it's a video?
It's a video. There's like a channel on YouTube that basically just has translated videos from the Japanese FGC. And one of these 5 gods in the video is talking about the corner in Street Fighter. And one of the things he says is that when you have someone in the corner, your goal is not to hit them. Your goal is to just play the situation and let the hits come to you. It's like you're not trying to dive into the corner.
That's so true.
Yeah, you're just trying to, like, if you think about it, because like in Street Fighter, right, the corner is very clear, right? If you're in the corner, then pretty much your only option to get out is to jump. So to counteract that, all you have to do if you have someone in the corner is just sit at the range where you threaten them, right? You're just sitting, like you're just walking back and forth and threatening them with your pokes, and you can react to them jumping. And it's harder to do in Melee.
Remember that Fountain of Dreams game we looked at, and you were like, "Oh, that's a nice weight."
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
kind of like what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because when you're thinking about it, right? If you just stand in a position where you can't be threatened, like if you stand outside of the Fox threat range that we've been talking about, they can't really do anything. Like what are they gonna do? They're gonna approach into you when you're clearly waiting for them to approach.
That is so true. Yeah.
And then
Especially if they're like at a disadvantage percent wise too.
Yeah,
That's even makes it
definitely.
worse,
Because then, like, if you trade, like, if Fox is at like 80%, right, and you're at like 10,
yeah,
and you trade your fair with his nair, that's so much better for you than it is for him. Like that can basically just mean a kill for you. So.
And I bet you low-level foxes like freak out about being on the corner versus a SHEIK because she's just so good at edge guarding spaces.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually I haven't gotten around to it yet since we last spoke, but I think one of the things I'm going to do to improve as a player is to just really religiously do situational analysis of the 1001 Yuta King Edge Guards video.
I was just watching it. I was watching it last night. I watched like 100 of them, dude. They're so sick.
Yeah.
That video is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to look it over, you should let me know. No, I want to be a part of that.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Yeah, I could look it over,
dude.
like
That'd be sick.
I could just look it over sometime on stream. Or,
Yeah. Link me your stream when you look it over, dude.
Okay, shit. Sick. I'll do it on like a
Alright.
Tuesday or Thursday when you're free.
Yeah, let me know. Yo, alright, let's go game 2 on this, though.
Let's go game 2. So what was I gonna say? So I'm just gonna make a note. Mix, short hop, and movement.
Yeah, that's something I've noticed
Together.
about my game, too, is I feel like I just get stuck in
Try
aerial
out
mode or,
short
like, go for grab mode, or...
And then once you so then another wrinkle you can add to your short hop aerial into dash game is you can do stuff like short hop fair into dash forward. Because like if someone is like expecting you to short hop fair or dash back, right? So say Fox is at like 50%, and you're doing this kind of like short hop zoning. So if you short hop fair, like I'll cancel fair, and you've been dashing back the whole time, then he's just going to be dash dancing in place, waiting to pressure you waiting to pressure your dash back. But then if you do like short hop fair to dash forward, or like short hop fair to dash, not that dash is pretty risky, but if you do stuff like short hop fair to just dash forward, or short hop fair to F tilt, then you can really throw him off his game, because then you can really add some mix-ups into it. But short hop aerial to dash back is the fundamental mix-up. So let's go to game 2.
What do you think about like at this percent, like weak up tilt, or I mean up air?
Up air, weak up air is good.
It's kind of like F tilt in a way. I feel like.
So something you can kind of do right here is instead, because if you look at the percent, you don't even have to do up air. You can do a lower commitment option. You can do up tilt. Because if you up tilt here, you're just gonna trade with down air, and you're gonna have like no lag, but Fox is gonna be popped up at a really nice altitude for comboing. So you can really have play a favorable like situation right here if you just up tilt. Because that's one of the things that I've seen Face Roll recommend for dealing with Fox's full hop, is to just get under it and F tilt and up tilt it, because it's just so weighted in your favor in terms of risk reward. Okay. Anyways, let's look at game 2. Game 2 is like right here. Oh, this is game 1.
So I'd be down to run through game 2, and then take a real good look at game 3, though.
Okay.
That sound good to you?
Yeah, for sure. Okay, we're still trying to limit those F tilts when Fox at low percents.
Yep.
Also try and
Throwing
limit
out
the
jabs like a
weak
dumbass.
back here.
Oh, that was kind of a good F tilt though. Why did that work? Did you see that? He just didn't crouch cancel it, I guess.
So, yeah. So I think Fox was jumping there. So, but if we bring it back to...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he was just grabbing or something. I think he was grabbing without ASDIing down.
Okay.
But if you look at... Okay,
so wait, that means... Alright.
This is good. This is good to think about.
Yeah.
So if you look at this situation... So if you get right there, this is much more favorable for you than being right here on the platform. Because if you're in center stage and Fox is on the side platform, then you can just do stuff like short hop back air, or like short hop, see if he's going to come down and then react with back air, or just stay in place and just like wait for his option, and that's a much higher reward option than just F tilting him when he's on the side platform.
So wait, so one thing I noticed is, I was thinking about it. I was like, wait, why did I go for so many weird F tilts that game? And then I realized when I was playing is sometimes I'm going for boost grabs and I accidentally throw out F tilts.
That makes sense.
Because I don't, right?
Yeah, boost. Yes. Oh my god. Even as someone that's been playing SHEIK for a while, I still get like I'll be trying to dash attack or boost grab. Actually, more so dash attack, but I'll be trying to like dash attack and I'll just get F smash instead, because instead of inputting A one frame after going forward on the control stick, I input them on the same frame. Yeah. So let's keep on going through this.
This is the game. I remember that though. Like right here, I was trying to go for a grab.
Okay.
Like I felt like I had the read on him right here for the grab, but I threw out an F tilt by accident, and then I spam grab like right after.
So this is important because
Oh wait, can you pause that on that shield when I shield on his platform? I was gonna ask you about this too. This is something I wanted to ask you about actually.
right here.
So right here, what I'm doing is I'm trying to read his tech option with a shield drop aerial. What do you think
Okay.
about that?
So
Is that optimal
okay.
or no?
So so if you had turned around right here, you would have been able to punish. Well, it's hard because so this is when Fox at this percent.
This is ambiguous.
It's ambiguous, and also
Yeah.
your aerials aren't really going to lead to much reward right here. But
Mhm.
say if Fox was at like 10% or 20% higher, then you had turned around right here instead of just shielding in place, like if you had turned around and shielded,
Mhm.
then you would have been able to cover this tech option with an up air, and that would be really high reward.
Shield drop up air.
Yeah, she'll like just turn around right here, face the other direction, and then cover this tech option with turnaround up air. And I don't know if you could cover the tech all the way to the other side with back air.
Yeah, I could see. Oh, dude, that'd be a sneaky up air. I
But
know what you're talking about.
yeah, but if you text away right here and you're trying to cover this, so like tech in place or miss tech or tech in with up air, you could just shield drop down to center, and just start playing the center game.
Yeah. I really like the platform heights on this stage for SHEIK.
Yeah,
I can see
oh
why
my
Club
God.
says it's like one of the best stages.
Yeah,
for her.
it is. Yeah, it used to
Ever
be
since
that.
I started doing the auto cancel aerials, I'm like, dude, this is such a good stage.
Yeah. It used to be that Spaceys would just let you start on a battlefield every time. But
Yeah.
now they've kind of wisened up and they'll starting on Dreamland instead.
I was actually just gonna say that, like, this Fox took me to Dreamland, and I was like, alright, bet. And I lost the first game, and I took him back. I don't know.
Okay, so these
I feel like
F
it's a good
tilts
stage for SHEIK.
are these F tilts crabs?
Oh, yeah, what? Which ones? Go back? Oh, yeah, probably not. That was
Okay.
probably just me trying to, like, be like, don't aerial into me.
Okay. So that's one of the fundamental problems with this matchup for SHEIK is that until
Yeah.
Fox is at that knockdown percent, stuffing aerials with F tilt isn't worth it isn't worth the risk.
Okay.
It's just not. It's medium. Like it's kind of like medium risk, low reward. It's not like necessarily high risk, but it's just there are better things to be getting. Like there are better ways to be punishing Fox for aerialing it to you.
Okay.
Like you could be like a safer option. Like if Fox. So let's say if Fox just runs into you while ASDIing down, and you F tilt him, you're gonna get grabbed or shined. Like it's just if you think about it that way, especially now that fuck it Melee. I was watching the Mango and Pals podcast last night while practicing, and Mango said
Wait,
that
there was the Mangoes last night? They did a new one, or?
no, they didn't do a new one. It was just the old one.
Oh, yeah, I saw that one too.
Yeah,
That was
remember how
mad
they were
funny.
talking about new players being cracked?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of Foxes nowadays will just run into you and ASDI down, or run into you and run up crouch.
That's
And-
so crazy. I don't get that though.
So
The whole crouch canceling thing is so like foreign to me.
yeah, it's definitely. It used to be foreign to me too until I just started spamming it, and I just spammed it for like
that's
2
what I've been
weeks.
trying to do lately.
But it's
Just
definitely
play a ton of friendlies and see what happens.
yeah,
right?
exactly. Because like the best kind of I think a good rule of friendlies for all players, but especially like you as someone that's kind of like starting to learn the subtleties of the game, is to every time you go into a friendly, like I was saying earlier, but pick one thing to focus on. So like pick this time I'm gonna just practice crouch cancel. I'm just gonna spam crouch cancel. I'm gonna see what my opponent can do to counter it, what options it interacts favorably with, where on the stage I want to do it, like when it stops being possible, just do my percent, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, so a lot of characters will just crouch in this situation, and just take your F tilt, and then that's really bad for you. But if you do stuff like just short hop away or short hop back fair to zone the spacing, then it becomes then those become really good options. Or you can also do stuff like wave dash back grab if you think he's gonna come in, or like dash back grab if you think he's gonna come in. But generally, your main options for this percent in this situation are short hop away back air, short hop back forward air, or movement into grab. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Awesome. So you want to keep on thinking about the percent game and not throwing out crouch cancelable moves when Fox is below knockdown percent.
Yeah, I think that dash attack is just be a grab. I just feel like I do that way more often than I should.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a hard habit to kick. This is kind of a good example of you having like two modes.
Oh, dude, what happened to my center stage control right there? Should I have crouch canceled that? Like, what am I supposed to do there?
So right here when you spawn?
No. I was doing good until I got hit by that back air. Like the first hit of this stock I get.
Of the... So
No, no, stock 3, I mean.
Oh. Okay, so this Fox didn't really like take advantage of it, but right here you were kind of putting yourself in a bad position.
Really?
Because if you look, because like right here, you're out of invincibility, and look at where Fox is.
Yeah.
Like if Fox does like a short hop running up air right here, or he just like crouches and up tilts, or just like even just crouches underneath you, then you could be in a really bad situation.
I feel like I do that a lot, man. You always pause it on this frame. I'm always on top of Fox. I do this a lot, huh?
Yeah, this is where having really good platform movement comes in, because when Fox gets under you, you can't really fight him. Because again, like we talked about, how down air isn't good for fighting Fox when he's below you. Nair isn't good for fighting Fox when he's below you. If he's directly below you, you can't needle him. If he's directly below you, your fair won't hit. So a lot of this kind of interaction becomes you recognizing that you're about to be above Fox, and then just repositioning and moving away. Like, it's better to reposition in this situation than to take the fight. Because this is a big disadvantageous position for SHEIK, so you really don't want to take this fight. Okay. Like, if you look at where you were, right, because I think you still had your double jump. Oh no, you used your double jump.
So just reposition here. Like,
yeah, just
don't
reposition.
Approach from the top. Just get on the platform and just wave dash off or something.
Yeah, I think you could have wave landed to the side platform.
Yeah, I probably could have.
Yeah, that would, or even just air dodge to it would have been better. But yeah, really don't fight Fox when he's below you, if at all possible. And then here's kind of an example of what I was talking about when saying that you have two modes. Because like you're throwing in attacks, right? You see that your attacks don't work, so then you just start moving, and you're not really moving with any purpose. It feels like you're kind of just moving to move.
Man, I'm so guilty of that.
Yeah, it's hard, but also if you think about the stuff we've talked about, like if you think about the like effective ranges of characters, and like moving to interact with them, then your movement will become a lot more intentional, and you'll start to like really like move with like so. Another thing that's important is during friendlies, your brain should be going all the time. Like, you should be thinking about what is happening in the game all the time. So when you're playing friendlies and you're like practicing movement, you should be thinking about, okay, so that I get hit there because I moved into Fox's neutral air range, or I got hit there because I moved into Peach's dash attack range, or like anything else, like anything really. But you should be devoting all your brain power to that, so that when you go into bracket, and you encounter those situations, you don't have to
Mhm.
think anymore. Like
Okay.
in bracket, you should basically be in lizard brain. Like
Okay.
you should be in lizard brain except for between stocks and between games. And then but then like over the course of your like during your games, you should just be feeding information to your subconscious. Like you should just be like observing things and noting like
Yes.
okay, so he neutral.
Second
Okay, he
nature.
lasered. Yeah, exactly. And then
Yes.
when you're between stocks and we're between games, you can take all of that and kind of like combine, like take all of that and synthesize it and turn it
Okay.
into a game plan. Like
Yeah,
if I'm playing against a
I
fox and I see that he's just gonna laser in the corner, I'll be like, okay, he's lasering in the corner. And then when the stock is
yeah.
over, I'll be like, okay, so he's lasering in the corner. I'll do this or I'll do that, and then just keep on doing that with just feeding information and taking notes during the actual game, and then processing it between games.
Yeah, I think like this past week I've been really trying to get into the theory of the game. I've really never done that before. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean it's
Something I still got to get used to, but I definitely see what you're talking about. For
yeah.
sure.
Yeah, I think a good way to kind of like learn the theory of the game is to like I've been talking about, just like pick a specific item of theory and then watch top players and pay attention to only
Yeah.
that thing.
That's what I
Um,
did the other day. That's what I did that with face roll and his combo extensions.
yeah, yeah, that's great. That's exactly what you
Yeah.
should be doing. Okay, so
I'm gonna just start throwing out down air too into like tech chases on platforms.
yeah, so
See where it takes me.
downer is kind of weird. So you ended up above Fox again right there. Downer is kind of weird because it's kind of a true tech chase, but it's also kind of not. Because you basically have to
I see Fluff
predict.
do it a lot.
You have to predict that they're going to the platform rather than reacting. Because if you react to them going to the platform, your downer won't get there in time. So you have to predict.
Oh, I see. So it's not like a true.
Yeah, it's kind of like
follow-up.
Falcon Stomp, right?
Oh, okay.
So like you can't really
Yeah.
just react straight up to them. Oh, that was sick.
What? Oh, this?
The poof.
Oh, did I do a poof? Oh, yeah. That's what I was telling you about. I was trying to do the been trying to do the poofs on the platform. That's what I was trying to do right there. That was a good recovery right there.
Yeah. Okay, so this is where I want to be
I'm okay
dashing
with
between
that.
aerials. Yeah, I'm fine with all of this.
Yeah. Definitely. I could have followed up that fall affair, but
Okay, good shield grab on
there's some
pressure.
pummels right there.
There you go.
Oh, look at that. I like that wave dash into shield.
Yeah, really shielding and crouching is really good, but you have to be using movement in and out of it.
Oh, you know
Like-
what's a situation that's super analyzable too is like when two characters are both facing each other with their shields out on the platforms.
Oh yeah, that has a lot of layers to it.
Yeah, right. Doesn't
Especially against like any character that had like pretty much
good
all good
player.
characters have good shield drop options.
it? Yeah.
But
Like I was staring at some guy for like 3 seconds before one of us decided to
yeah.
drop, like the other day on unranked.
Yeah, it's just like especially like
Oh, look,
yeah,
that was
like
a good.
because if you
That was a good ASDI on that up smash right there. I thought.
nice nair. Yeah, if you like if you're standing next to someone on platforms, it kind of becomes a game of chicken, where you're just waiting for the other one to act, so you can then shield drop their shield drop aerial.
Oh, another thing is I be trying to throw out. I'm trying to like focus on up tilt as like an anti-air option, especially when foxes are trying to wave dash off platforms. Like right there, if I threw an up tilt out. But I saw like face roll do that a lot.
Oh, right there.
Like
Right, right here.
yeah,
So yeah, so the important thing with up tilt
right
is
there. Yeah,
that,
exactly. When it hits my shield.
So you gotta remember that it's on Fountain on some of the configurations, on Pokemon, and on the underneath the near side of the platform on Yoshi's are the places where you can do the up tilt shield, like up tilt pressure, really well.
Oh.
Because
Yeah,
then,
yeah, yeah. You know what else I meant though? I meant like when they're falling off the platform, like on Battlefield, even.
yeah, definitely.
You know, when they try and aerial down and you hit them with an up tilt.
Yeah, because so that's
That's
kind
what
of
I was specifically speaking about.
that's one thing that Kirby Kaze, because Kirby Kaze wrote like a massive Sheik Fox matchup guide, um, and he was
I should
saying
read it.
that
I'm gonna look for it.
up tilt is kind of hard to hit, but it's also one of the only tilt, like pretty much the only tilt you can use when Fox is at low percent. Because if you catch
Yeah.
him, like catch him in the air or even catch him on the ground with it, just because the second hit is really good
Is
on
grab
approach.
like a true follow up?
It's kind of is, kind of not, because like on shield, up tilt the second hit has 2 frames of advantage. So your opponent basically has 4 frames to escape a standing grab. I think on hit it's more or less real. Although it's also, now that more people are SDIing, people just SDIing out of it will be more of a thing. But I actually have, I'll link you to it, but I actually made just a giant, because I noticed that there wasn't actually just a single Sheik matchup guide. So I basically compiled all of the different resources and Smashboards posts and YouTube videos by top players I could find, and I compiled them into one massive matchup guide compilation. So like
Okay.
the Fox section is like basically just a page of links. Like there's a link to like Drug Fox analyzing a Sheik Fox set. There's a couple links to Ginger analyzing some. There's a couple fiction lessons, a couple Drug Fox lessons, some written guides. And Fox is definitely the most represented character on there, so I'll link you to it. I definitely recommend
Yeah,
like
definitely.
watching or
Definitely.
reading a lot of the stuff on there.
Word.
There's fine there. Okay, good recognition that you were above Fox and you just repositioned. You probably should have backered there.
Yeah.
So this is another example of the situation that came up earlier in the start of game one.
Mm-hmm.
You really you don't have to dash back here. Like you don't have to dash back here at all. Like if you want to do a defensive option, this is a situation where you could do short hop forward fair. You could just short dash forward, wave dash back to kind of bait him. But you really don't need to dash back here, because like we talked about earlier, this spacing and like if you were spaced inside the button on the Pokeball are pretty much the same thing, right? And so is you dashing back. Like they're all equally safe to Fox doing a short hop aerial at you. So you want to be at the closest of that spacing, like the closest of those spacings as possible, so that you can actually react to Fox approaching you and like whiff punish him. Because the name of the game is to try and bait Fox into throwing out an aerial or unsafe approach, and then punish him for it. And Fox actually full hop nared here. He was aiming right at where you landed. So this is actually a situation where crouch cancel would be really good. Also, just scooping him up with F tilt. And this is something this is kind of a wrinkle that we haven't really talked about yet with the Fox matchup. With just how he's able to use full hop. Because like I'll get the good old sniffing tool out, but he has a few different ranges he controls right here. So he has. So I'll write down each range. So this range is short hop. Pardon my writing. this range is overshot. That's shine. Or just overshot things in general. And then this range is full hop. So each of these layers is kind of like an onion. Like as Fox starts to do one of them, it's the higher likelihood goes that he's going to do the other. So like, but the reason like I'm telling you to like stay in this range, in between like short hop range and overshot range, is that just short hop is the by far the most common option for a Fox to do in this situation. Whereas running shine and full hop at you are more of like reads. Because like if you're standing like at short hop range and you F tilt and Fox is going for like a running shine, then he's just gonna get knocked down. Like it's risky for him. So that is more. So it's very much so a read of you just wave dashing back and waiting for him to approach. And then full hop is kind of the next layer because it's also it's more of a it targets more of a specific spacing that you'd be at while waiting for him to approach, and it's what a lot of Foxes will do either right away. Like it's pretty much like a kind of an all or it's not like an all or nothing thing for Foxes, but you'll see a lot of the Foxes you'll play will full hop rarely and only use it as a hard read, and then a lot of Foxes you'll play will use it as one of their main options. So in that case, it's really important to like adapt to it. And the way you can adapt to it, So the way you can adapt to it is by dashing under it, so that you can up tilt it, dashing under it so you can cross up and rising short hop bear it, or just like crouch it. And those are all really good options for beating it.
I feel like sometimes these net play Foxes, they be spamming like double jump a lot.
Yeah, that's
like
another thing.
They'll do a shine and then they'll jump out of it.
Yeah, I hate that about Fox. Oh my god.
Yeah, and then there's that layer. There's a right.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But so that's a situation where you have to really just be playing for center, because if a Fox is double jumping around, they're not controlling center at all. And from center, you can do some real safe stuff like short hop back air to like so that they fall on top of it, which is something you'll read in the Kirby Kaze matchup guide. Is that you can use short hop like back air so that they fall on top of it from the top platform. And then if you're really confident, which is generally never going to be never because Fox is so good at moving around, you can also do like short hop up air. But when a Fox does that, they're not controlling center stage at all. So you really don't have any. So because you have center, there's no real reason for you to throw out like aggressive hitboxes, because you have the advantage. And like it's kind of what you're talking about with how like when Martha's in the center, right? Like you really don't have to throw out any hitboxes. You can kind of just let them like make themselves vulnerable. But yeah, so these different ranges are all really important to think about. What's up?
You know something that destroys me in this matchup is the shine off the ledge.
Oh, like when they shine you and you fall down? Like
yes, yeah. Like say they're like shine comboing you and then they let you fall off the ledge.
So
and then they come back. They follow up with another. You can like tech that, right?
So that's something that you can practice in Uncle Punch, because you can just go into the wave shine mode, and then you can practice. Because what you have to do is you have to fast fall to the ledge.
So snap to ledge.
Yeah. So basically, if you fast fall, you'll snap to ledge. But it's a fine. But you have to also, if you fast fall too much, you'll just fall right past it. So you have to fast fall.
And what about when
just
Fox
right
catches
amount.
you? And what about when Fox catches you, like when you're trying to like recover back? Like say you're trying to like jump back to ledge, you know what I mean? And he shines you. Is that like your stock basically?
It depends on if you have your double jump or not.
Okay.
But generally,
is that something you just have to be aware of?
Yeah, it's something you have to be aware of.
All right.
Because if you're insta jumping, like if you're insta double jumping too much, that's like a signal for the Fox to start going for the shine reads.
Do you do like a lot of wall jumps when you recover?
I like to do wall jumps on Yoshi's. I'm pretty bad at wall jumping on Dreamland and Fountain because of the weird curvature of the ledge. But on
Okay.
Yoshi's,
Yep.
something that mutating does a lot, and I also do a decent amount, is a wall jump back air. If your opponent's in a knockdown
Yeah,
percent
I've
and
done
they're
that
hogging the
before.
ledge,
To pressure like anyone who's like right on the edge.
yeah. And
But
then
don't you
you can
think the Shino stall would be a better like way to cover that?
well sometimes you
Like
just can't.
theoretically.
Sometimes you just can't face it. Like you can't grab the ledge. Because basically, like that back air, the mutating back air, is used like actually when you're recovering from like from being off stage.
Okay.
Like when you're just recovering so low that you have to wall jump. And then you can also do wall jump, needle turnaround, up B to ledge,
Yep.
and you can do
I've been practicing that too.
air dodge to stage.
Yeah.
Those are the three things I see the most. I Yeah, I think those are really the only three things I see. But they're all kind of useful because if someone is respecting your wall jump back air, then they're pretty much giving you a free wall jump up B to ledge. And if somebody is trying to take a ledge from you because they think you're gonna up B to like wall jump reverse up B to ledge, then you can either wall jump back air or just wall jump on air dodge on stage. So yeah, definitely like a good thing to be doing on Yoshi's and other stages if you can recover on them. Like if you can do the wall jump on them. Okay, let's do some more. Let's go for come through and do some more general notes because I think we hit on the big things. So that was
No, dude, I would love to show you like some of my ledge play in Uncle Punch. I just think I'm doing it wrong. I've been trying to like do like the up B up to ledge and shit.
like Sammy stall.
Yeah, like I've been trying to use like the C stick to fall. Is that what you do too? Or?
You can do it that way. Actually, I think
I feel like I keep
you have
like SDing though.
you have to. I think actually you do have to fast fall for the Sammy stall. Because
Okay.
if you just do a normal drop from ledge and you're not fast falling, then it won't be fast enough for it to be invincible.
I keep like switching to Zelda though. Is that just something I need to keep practicing?
Yeah, you just gotta keep practicing it.
All right. All right.
Because
all right.
it's so Shino stall is I think much easier than like Shino stall is much easier than Sammy stall. Um, because it's just like less and like it's less complex execution.
Yeah.
Although getting
Yeah, I
like
noticed that.
getting the perfect Shino stall is kind of hard, like getting the perfect poof height. But like perfect Sammy stall is I think much harder. But it's also it's also
Yeah, I'll
really
keep practicing
important
that.
for for edge guarding because it allows you kind of like how Spaceys use their Firefox stall. Like it allows you to while Marth is off stage, and he hasn't really done anything. But he also, like if he hasn't like done anything and you want to stay on the ledge, but you don't want to be vulnerable to up B, you can then just Sammy stall to ledge. Like you can just Sammy stall to refresh your invincibility. Whereas Shino stall is a little bit too slow for that. Okay, so I like the idea behind the needle on the platforms, but it looks like you got a little bit too overzealous with your grounded needle charge. And Fox is one of the characters that can really punish you for doing bad needle charges on the ground, and also bad full hop needles on the platforms, just because he's so fast. Gotta bear that.
Oh yeah, for sure. I
Okay,
should've
that was
noted
nice.
That for sure. Oh yeah, the weak bear combo. I was
Yeah.
so psyched about that. It was like exactly how we were talking about. Like this was like right after I messaged you on Tuesday.
Okay, so this
Ouch.
Yeah,
That was a crazy combo.
this downer, I'm assuming, were you trying to specifically try out downer in this game?
No.
Okay,
That was
because
probably just like me trying to get back to the ledge. Also, sometimes with this controller, I accidentally misinput down airs.
okay. So this downer was pretty bad, not gonna lie. Because again,
I don't know.
like,
I don't know if that was intentional or not.
Okay.
But explain why it was bad.
so if you look at this, like you started it from so high that Fox has time to react to it. And Fox's up air is also pretty disjointed, as is his up tilt. So
Yeah,
he
his
can
up
just
air could hurt.
yeah, exactly. But what
Yeah,
you
he
could have
easily
done,
challenged that.
so what you could have done is you could have just fallen to ledge. Like if you look at right here, like you could have
Yep.
just stayed
Reset
on
neutral.
course. Yeah, just like fall into ledge, get back into neutral. Don't try and rush
Yep.
things.
It's just like earlier we were talking about, like, trying to like make a bad situation into a good one.
Yeah, exactly. And then also kind of one thing, I was watching the SSBM tutorials video that Kira put out a few
Okay.
days ago, and one thing, it was like 5 things Mango does that no other Falco does.
I saw that video as well.
Yeah, remember how we said that Mango would full hop out of the corner and like full hop forward and then drift back to bait out a
Yeah.
hitbox? So you can kind of do something similar to that. Like you can kind of, it's harder at this height just because Fox can react to double jumps so like much better and react to your drift. But something you can do is like jump forward and then drift back to ledge, kind of like Mango does with Falco.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that'd be a sick mix-up. Yeah, I see that.
Okay, I think you might want to go into Uncle Punch. And actually, I think you should go into Uncle Punch and practice just punishing moves out of shield. And practice on wave dashing out of shield and practice on naring out of shield.
Okay.
Like a good way to really tighten up your wave dashes out of shield is to go into Uncle Punch and set Peach to down smash. And then practice wave dashing out of shield and grabbing her down smash. Like, so basically you have to take a hit, angle your shield away so that you don't get hit by the rest of them, and then wave dash in to grab her to punish the leg.
Like she's like right on top of you.
Yeah, so basically, so you want to shield one hit exactly of the down smash by shielding the first hit and then angling your shield all the way away.
Wait, does that require using 2 different triggers?
No. Actually, well, not really. Wave dashing out of shield can be done with the same trigger. It's just that it's more common to do it with 2 triggers.
Yeah, I'm an R only boy.
Okay. You can still do it but also, so if you're having trouble with wave dashing
So what
out of
do you
shield,
do,
then I just do.
What's like the most common thing?
I shield with L and I wave dash with R. Like I shield and L cancel with L, and then I wave dash with R and wave land with R.
So I feel like that is like something like that is way more optimal, but I'm just so used to doing everything with R, so I'm kind of at like a weird. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I know.
I
what
don't
you
know
mean.
if I should try and relearn my habit, my bad habit. Or,
I
don't
think it's
know.
fine. I mean, like as long as you can get the execution right, I think it's totally fine.
Yeah, so it's not it's not impossible to do what you're talking about. With
Yeah,
this one
definitely.
button, though.
But yeah, so I think also one thing I've been seeing is that you haven't really been wave dashing out of shield,
Yeah, that
which
probably,
is really important for SHEIK. Because
it?
if you think about it, SHEIK has possibly the best wave dash in the game in terms of like quick and the combination of quick and long.
Okay.
So it means that, and also like it's so fast that it's easy for her to convert a wave dash out of shield into grab. Like something you'll see like Face Roll do in the Falco matchup is he'll shield a down air, like a cross up down air. He'll wave dash out of shield and then he'll grab it. And then also, like, it's important. Like for example, like if you shield a Puff Bear, and you're in close range to her, then you can like wave dash out of shield forward and F tilter.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I that's like the when you said that in my head, I immediately thought of F tilt like right out.
Yeah.
after the wave dash.
Yeah, and then also it's important
I can
because
see that being so useful.
it allows you to use shield stops in neutral because you're then able to actually act out of them. And it allows you to do stuff like
True.
run up in Marth's face. If Martha's in the corner, it allows you to do stuff like run up in Marth's face and then do a delayed wave dash forward F tilt at a shield and catch him in the corner.
Okay.
And just all kinds of stuff like that. But it's also really important just to get out of shield pressure.
Okay. Yeah, dude, I definitely see that. I'm gonna try and work that in. I'm gonna
Okay.
try and yeah.
Work in wave dash.
I'm gonna try and watch like some pro games later and see if I notice the wave dashes out of shields.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, face roll would be a good one. Falco is probably the character that requires the most out of shield play for SHEIK. So that matchup would be a good one to watch. But then also if you want to keep...
What's your next most familiar matchup?
Probably Marth. My good
Yeah.
matchups I feel confident in, confident enough in to teach well, are Fox, Marth, Falco, Puff, and Peach.
Dude, that's
but-
so sick.
But I feel like I think a lot of I don't know. I think my strength is that I don't really is that I have the ability to like focus on the player and like still pick out like suboptimal things that you're doing even in a matchup I don't really know too well.
Yeah, like that's all you need sometimes though. You don't need like people to tell you like percents, like specific things exactly. Like yeah, but I'm not even at that level yet. Like
Yeah.
even just this like the small like things you notice is very helpful.
Hell yeah. But yeah, so like but like what we've been doing with this Fox game is like I've been talking about his threat range, but I could like talk
Yeah.
about his threat range with every character because like even though I'm not too good at the Falcon matchup, it's not because like I don't like understand the game. It's because I don't like I'm not good at like implementing the stuff I've seen like yet. Like,
Yeah, I was like explaining this to someone else. Like I feel like every matchup's like a brand new game almost.
Yeah.
Even with the same characters.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
Yeah, because like there's character matchups, and then there's also player matchups.
yeah, and
Like-
the game's been around for 20 years. The meta's so developed, it's
Yeah.
insane.
Like Nunn was talking about, or like Nunn mentioned that like Falcon is kind of a character that's pretty homogenous at like low to mid levels, and then once you get up to the high levels, like top 100 or like top 50, pretty much every Falcon is different and has to be approached in a different way.
Wow, that's such a good point.
Yeah, I think the same thing can also be said for SHEIK because like if you think about it, a lot of lower mid level SHEIKs can kind of be classified in the same way. But when you look at like the differences between like Plup and Captain Face Roll and Mewtwo King and Shrooms and all these
So
other
true.
SHEIKs that are just wildly different. Yeah, anyways, let's keep going, let's finish strong. Okay, I think what you were doing here was a better combination of your moves and of your movement than before earlier in the match. Because like this is all like good stuff. This is all good stuff for like combining your movement and your moves in like combinations. You just messed up
Yeah.
the tactics.
Yes. Like these are good movement mix-ups. This is stuff I should be doing more, even though it didn't lead to a great result.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. There's still a few elements.
Yeah.
There's still a few elements of reaching. Like this dash attack was just, I think, a little bit premature.
I'm pretty sure that was a grab.
Okay. I think even then, I think it would have been a little bit premature, just because you timed it a little bit early. Like if you look at when you input it and when Fox came down, you were just rushing it a little bit.
Yeah, and I would have got the weak hit too.
Yeah. Those needles are fine, but generally you don't want to be shooting many standing needles against Fox
Mm-hmm.
because
That was like a good mix-up though. I don't think he'd expect that.
yeah, definitely.
I think that was like safer than most
Yeah, that's actually something that Levin talks about when he was labbing Sheik.
Really?
Was that
What do you say?
so basically, the secret to grounded needles is to be jumping, right? Jumping, and then as you land,
Oh, I
turn like
saw this. I saw that. You
yeah,
hit like
as you land
like
needle,
the frame as soon as you land, right?
yeah. Um, and I think it's definitely strong. It's just that needles are inherently weak on but weak frame advantage wise, just because one
Yeah,
needle
you just
actually.
get punished. It's not worth it.
Yeah, exactly. Like needles are actually disadvantaged until you reach a certain point, like a certain threshold of needles charged. Whereas
I don't.
if you do like
Yeah.
short hop needles, like even one needle can be really good.
I don't know. Do you remember if like I was like charging needles a lot like in this game?
I don't think so.
Hmm. Because I was gonna say I may have possibly tried to throw him out of mix-up or something. Like
Yeah, if you
bait
haven't,
it out.
I think you haven't been charging needles really that much in this game, so the needle
Mm.
here makes a lot of sense. But also a lot of like, if you think about it, a lot of matchups, and actually all matchups, one of the defining rules and guidelines for the matchup is when it's safe to charge needles, because like against like it's much harder to charge needles safely against Fox or Falcon than it is to charge needles safely against like Puff or Peach, and like against like Marth.
Mhm.
So it's really important to be able to work on and like kind of figure out at what spacings you're safe to charge needles, and from what positions. Like
Mhm.
something you'll see Swedish do if you watch him against Peach is like basically when Peach is in center, and he's in the corner, he'll just full hop needle charge to the platform, and he'll just charge like a full stack of needles because he knows that Peach is slow and like too slow, and also that his shield drop aerials are too threatening for Peach to actually be able to punish him.
Yes.
So that's something to think about with all the matchups. And also something that would be good to like
Wow.
try to
It's just
figure
so
out.
crazy how different each matchup is, especially for this character.
Oh yeah, because
It's insane, dude.
because Sheik is one of the characters that really relies on playing the spacing game, and with each character, they all have different threat ranges. Like each character has their own range that they cover with their moves and timing they cover. Um, like if you think about like Fox versus Puff, like against Fox, you're looking for like to interact with that like horizontal threat range of his nair and like trying to interact with it to get grabs and good openings. Whereas like with Puff, you're looking to interact with her like diagonally. Then you're looking to like use your needles and like aerials to get openings. That's something that's really interesting to talk about with Puff. Just how the spacing and threat range change because of how unique she is as a character.
You know, ever since you told me that Puff's not that like the worst matchup for Sheik, I've been kind of like, or I don't know, I can be kind of like realizing how it's really not that bad of a matchup.
Yeah, because I think
If you're just smart about knowing when they want to crouch cancel,
hmm
you know.
yeah, as long like if you just don't throw grabs unless they're like truly safe and like a true guaranteed
Yeah, like
grab.
confirms into grabs are so important.
Mhm.
Like if you
Like
can get like an F tilt into grab or something.
And like
Or
if Puff is coming down and you know for sure that she'll be in enough leg for you to get a grab off on her. Like if it's like a true lift punish and you're like, okay, she's gonna come down with the bear, so I'm gonna time like she's gonna come down with the bear fair, so I'm gonna time my dash forward so that I do actually have the grab guaranteed. That's entirely different than just like throwing out grabs in neutral. But yeah, like Puff is kind of interesting because it's not like you have to play like you just have to play patient really.
I
Like
think needles are actually really good in that matchup.
yeah, they're insane.
Yeah, right? It's like almost as good as needles versus Marth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like needles are probably the best against Falco, Peach, Marth, and Puff.
Peach, oh, when she's
Also
trying to do
Ice
her flow
Climbers.
hop, her float shit, you just rip those needles. It's just
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we could talk. I think Peach would be a good character for us to talk about because the the matchup is fundamentally different because because SHEIK can be more offensive against Peach than SHEIK can against Fox. Because it's kind
I
of
actually
like
have some great Peach footage to show you
oh sick.
if you would like to.
Oh hell yeah. Because like Peach, because like one thing that I thought about a lot is how matchups expose the characteristics of characters, and like how bad matchups expose
Their traits.
characteristics. Yeah, because like if you think about it, like SHEIK Fox really exposes how defensive SHEIK is and how poorly she approaches. But then if you look at like SHEIK Peach, it really exposes how even though SHEIK has bad approaches, how she can still threaten them really effectively. Because against Peach, like Peach always has to be afraid of you just hawking a boost grab straight into them. And then the matchup kind of becomes dictated by that, where they're like forced to like throw moves to zone you out from doing the boost grab, like dash attack, which you can then exploit and whip punish.
So what do you think about like some SHEIK mains using like a Marth secondary? You heard of that before, right? Like dual main. I think Shroomed used to do it, right?
Yeah, Shroom does it for, I think, Ices and Fox. Drug Fox used to do it for Fox on FD. I think also Falco on FD. I don't know.
Just for FD? That's
Yeah, just
kind
for
of
FD.
fresh, honestly.
Yeah, I
kinda
mean,
like that
when you
idea.
think about it, it's actually a really good way to use a side character. Because you only need
That's
to
so
learn
funny, dude.
one specific
What if it was
matchup.
just Ice Climbers FD?
He might use it. No, he doesn't use it for that. I think Shroom does. But I think the
Nah, it's
beauty
mad
of
chill.
the beauty of playing Marth specifically for Fox on FD is that you only need to learn one matchup on one stage, and even then you really only need to learn just your chain grabs. Because when you think about it, Marth and SHEIK are really similar in that they're both whiff punishers, and they both are based around respecting their opponent's threat range. So when you think about it, the translation from SHEIK Fox to Marth Fox is actually pretty simple. It's not like there's a ton of like complex changes that happen.
I feel like out of all the matchups, that's like the one I have the best handle on.
SHEIK Marth?
Marth SHEIK.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
Falco's, honestly, as soon as I can learn like laser play with Falco, I think I have that matchup down. Because like, as soon as you get him on the edge, he's pretty much done. I think that matchup's like really SHEIK favored. Not like too bad, but probably like 55-60.
You could have just rolled out a shield here. I think that's one thing that's really important against Fox and Falco, is knowing when you can just roll out a shield.
Yeah, you don't always have to just sit there and just take it.
Yeah, like you always have because you want to be forcing them to play a mix-up game, where they have to respect both your roll out of shield as well as your nair out of shield.
Yes.
And because they have to cover, because if they like are covering your roll out of shield, right, and they're just kind of like dash dancing in place waiting for you to roll, then you have a free wave dash behind. Like you have a free wave dash away to get out of shield. And if they're trying to respect you, like just trying to hit you for staying in shield, and they're trying to do some like early aerials or late aerials, then you can just nair them. So it's really important to just like be thinking about all the different interactions with shields. And that's also probably one of the things that's easiest to take from top players. Just their out of shield game. Like if you look at like Plup or like Captain Feast or Swedish, it's really important to just like look at how they handle each different pressure option, and how they get out of it or how they beat it, and just like what options they choose.
Definitely. Wait, I was gonna ask you a question actually.
What's up?
While we watch this match, I know you guys say on the Discord that you guys aren't using the 3.0 saved states for Uncle Punch yet, but do you know like of any that are available right now?
I don't know of any for SHEIK.
Yeah.
Yeah, although I think
I was thinking about maybe making some, but I don't really know like what would be a good thing to.
So
I don't think I
have-
could efficiently create one like other people could. You know.
So actually, I have some in my notebook. Oh, another thing I would recommend is getting a Smash notebook, like just a journal, so that when you're like analyzing stuff, you can actually write down what you're analyzing and like your takeaways.
Yeah, since I started meeting up with you, I've been writing stuff in my laptop, like with the different matchups.
Awesome. But in my Uncle Punch lab scenarios, I have with punishing spacey aerials with them shining, with punishing Marth down tilt with him dashing back.
Wait, do you have them made?
No, I just recreate them.
Oh, okay. Because I was saying, if you have them made, if you could send them to me, that'd be huge.
Okay, yeah, I'll see what I can do. But I don't have Uncle Punch on my like computer. I have it like on my Wii, and I need
do you want me to send it to you?
Oh no, I
I
can't.
can share it with you right now.
No, I could like I have the ISO.
No, the new one though.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so I need to figure out, in order for me to actually get save states and share save states, I need to figure out how to do like virtual memory cards, or like read from a physical memory card.
Okay.
But yeah, so basically,
if you know anybody who has them too, let me know.
Okay, for sure. But I think the best usage for the training mode, for like the training lab, is for whiff punishing, and then also for beating shield pressure.
Really?
Because you can program the CPU to do like also for practicing crouch cancel, like beating crouch cancel options as well. Like that's the main thing I use it for, just beating like fairing Peach so that she can't down smash me.
Oh.
Or like
I could really benefit from some stuff like that.
Yeah, I think especially it forces you to actually learn like get your L cancels down. So I definitely highly recommend it. But so like whiff punishing and shield pressure, because you can like have a set starting point, right, and then you can program different shield pressure options. So you can practice beating them. And then also like whiff punishing, because you can have the computer do the same option but do different like options out of it. So you can practice like handling a fox narrowing into shine, or into dash back, or into spot dodge, or into shine again, all that kind of stuff. And then some people also have figured out how to use it for edge guarding practice, which I think I understand, but I haven't actually labbed it out yet.
I know the other characters enough to like properly set that up.
Yeah, I think what could be nice is just going through the Mewtwo King video and just like replicating like all the different options that people choose. And then also going like if you're just like watching like a Captain Face Roll VOD, just like watching like just like inputting.
He streams?
Well, like no, like a tournament match of his.
Oh, okay.
Just like input all the different like recovery options that his opponents go for, and just
for sure.
Just input them. Okay, that dash attack should have worked. Looks like your shield drops. It looks like your shield drops could be improved as well.
I think it's this controller. Like my shield drops are good on my new one, but like my dashes aren't as good.
Okay. Yeah, good.
And also on my new controller, like the snapback's really bad with the turnaround
I've
needles.
heard about that. I've heard about that for new controllers.
I know. I don't know if I can like the shield drops are perfect, but I don't know if it's something you can just like play through or not. But
yeah, I mean, I've heard...
I'm gonna see if I can experiment with the thing you told me about like replacing, and like, cause I have an old Ultimate controller I can replace.
Yeah, I think I don't know how to do too many controller modifications, but that's the one I do know, of just swapping out backs so that you get good triggers. But one thing, what I've heard for snapback is to just like literally roll your controller around nonstop.
Wait,
like,
what do you think about that?
C-stick.
What do you think about that? Getting back to stage effort.
This one?
This the whole sequence, even before that one too. Like he edge guarded me before.
Okay.
Like this is the stuff I really want to improve on.
Okay, so let's think about this. So this specific up B So what is important to understand about SHEIK's edge guard like recovery is that it's pretty much all mix-ups, right? And the higher
And I've seen the Leffen video about it.
and like the
So
higher
I
in
know about
percent
the
you are,
Jordan.
the easier. Okay, you know about the shorten. That's good.
Yeah.
But the higher in
I
percent
do it
you are,
actually. I'm actually pretty good at it, I think.
Oh, sick. The higher in percent you are, the easier it is to rinse and repeat, right? But also, the higher in percent you are, the better it becomes to just up B straight to ledge, right? Because if you like, it's like the risk reward of up being straight to ledge when you're at like 40 is much different than when you're at 111, right? Like you are right here. So that's kind of just something to think about, like as like with that option, that it kind of comes online when you're at about this percent. And then but then also the kind of fundamental mix-ups are if you were to edge like to up B, like right here at the very edge, then that's also something else you can do. And then also what you can do is you can go closer to ledge, and then you can do an up B that looks like you're going to go to ledge, and then actually go diagonal up, and then diagonal up and in, so land on the stage.
Yeah, and that beats roll sometimes, right?
Yeah, because it looks like you're going to up B to ledge, so people are going to roll a little late, which means that the up Bing to the stage is much better.
So, I think I'm actually really good at like getting to ledge or like getting to a safe spot. But my thing is, once I'm on the ledge, I always get like gimped. Like I feel like sometimes, I refresh my invincibility like in the wrong way, and I get F smashed by a Marth, for instance, or my ledge something with my ledge dash, or I don't know. I just feel like I really need to take a look at like me getting back from the ledge to stage. Like that's I think is the most important part of like my improvement.
Okay. I'm gonna go back and then just put everything on double speed.
Right here, that was a. Did you even like see any wave dashes in this set? Or ledge dashes, I mean?
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so at all. Yeah, those are really important for SHEIK. Oh, there's one.
So sometimes, like, I understand that my timing on my ledge dashes won't be perfect, but I think it's worth sacrificing to get better stage position.
Yeah. It's also ledge dashing. Ledge dashing is one of those things that's just like so much different when you're like practicing in the lab than when you're actually playing, because there are just so many different inputs involved, and they all need to be so precise. That it's just one of those things. It's kind of like for me, like when I have tournament nerves, it's usually the first thing to go in terms of like tech I can rely on. Just because, there's just so many different inputs.
So even like really top solid players, like think about how their ledge dashes aren't going to be like the best.
Although
like,
there are like kind of two different schools of thought with regards to ledge dash in tournament. The first being that you should just, no matter how rattled you are, you should always just go for ledge dash anyway, and just trust your muscle memory.
That's how I think it should be.
Yeah, I think that's how it should be. If you're like, especially like now, right? Because even if you're playing in tournaments, like it's not like there's money on the line, or it's not like you paid money to enter. So there's no real reason to not just go for the ledge dash anyway.
Facts.
So we saw one ledge dash just now. We saw you semi-stalling and missing SDing and down airing
Yeah, I
instead.
accidentally inputted it down there. I don't know why. I do that like all the time. It's because I think I hit the C stick and the B button too fast.
Okay. Yeah, I think you should probably
Does that
be...
make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Because your C stick, you C stick down. Actually, maybe it's just that you might be doing like a ghost input on the C stick.
Honestly, I'm telling you, I think it's part of the dead zone controller thing I've been having a problem with.
Mhm.
Like I looked into the Smash Brothers like M overlay, and I noticed like my analog stick kind of goes to the right down, and my C stick kind of aims down a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably it.
So
then.
I think like I reset it to neutral, and then it like automatically goes down, and I input down inputs. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. We have you on ledge right here. And then you just... I think you fall a little bit too far for the ledge dash. Because by the time you're up on stage, you've already lost all of your invincibility.
Okay.
I think... Oh god, I think... I'll link you to an actual article about SHEIK ledge dash. After this.
I think I already read it, dude. Is it the one in the resource page?
Yeah,
on the-
yeah, I
on the
think
Discord?
so. It's like melee on me.
I read it. I already read it.
Okay. Yeah, so just like you should be okay. So another good thing to practice, although it's now you can just do the ledge dash trainer in Uncle Punch, but just
I have that.
yeah, just practice like in this situation. Just practice getting a ledge dash F tilt, right? Because if you ledge dash F tilt, like if you ledge dash invincible F tilt here, you would hit Fox out of his bear, and you'd probably get a pretty pretty significant opening off of it. So like
Wait,
if
can
you
I ask you a question?
what's up?
They have an option where like you don't start on the ledge. You actually start from like an angel platform, like onto the side.
That can be useful.
So like, but in like in a tournament match, do people just up B to the ledge, and as soon as they like get the snap, they just ledge dash, or do they like
I
do
think
another up B?
most people do another Sammy stall, just
Yeah.
because like it actually makes your ledge dash just straight up better.
So wait, just not. I thought it was just the up B in general, or is it just the Sammy stall that makes your ledge dashes better?
Well, if you're grabbing the ledge with the first part of the up B, that's what does it.
Oh, okay. So
yeah.
just the first part.
Yeah, so if you're Shino stalling or if you're poofing to ledge, you won't get it. But if you're just grabbing with the very first part, you will.
You know why I'm confused on that though? Is because I've seen people Shino stall to ledge dash.
Mm-hmm.
Is that just like a mix-up maybe? Like so like, because like the other player will understand that the poof to ledge doesn't give them an advantage, so they won't do it.
I think maybe now people might know, but I think historically people just respected all the same anyways.
Oh, okay.
Because the purpose of the Shino stall is to actually force your opponent to stay away just because if they come in they'll get hit. Whereas the Sammy stall doesn't have a hitbox outright, so it's not like that dangerous at all. But yeah, so attempted ledge dash. Oh my god. I keep on clicking on the side of the window and then making the video go away. So yeah, it looks like you gotta work on your ledge dashes a little bit more.
Alright, yo, hey, I just want to give you a heads up. We started at 6, it's 8:30 right now.
Yeah, I see the timer. You want to wrap up?
Dude, I'm down to keep going as long as you are.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
I just don't. I'm like whenever you're done, I'm gonna play. I'm gonna start playing on ranked. So.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah, I think I'll just go.
I'm actually down to screen share my unranked.
Okay, yeah, sure. I'd be down. I can just point out things as they come up.
Yeah, unless there's anything else in this footage you'd like to point out.
I don't think so. I think we hit I think I got four main bullet points that are really important. Um, so I think those are good. It was like dashing out of aerials.
Oh, and I have one big question for you too. What do you think about Rumble?
I I don't think it really makes a difference. I know that like some
Do
players.
you use it or no?
I don't use it. I know that some players play with it because it lets you know when you're out of hit stun because the rumbles will stop. So it's
Yeah,
also
dude. I
knowing when to
think
wiggle
honestly
out.
during tech chasing it'd help, because like when they miss tech, it rumbles.
Oh yeah.
I was thinking about that. Like I was trying to do tech chase practice, and but yeah, I was just like, damn, this is actually might be like kind of useful. I was gonna ask him about this.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I think if you, I just get bothered by it. Like I get bothered by it like rumbling when I wave dash. I just don't like that. Um, it's like I just don't use it for that reason. But I think if you like it, I think there are definitely benefits to it. So
I
if
don't use it personally, but I would be convinced to use it if it actually was like optimal.
now I don't think it's optimal.
I
I
know
don't
Zane
know.
uses it.
Yeah, Zane uses it. Like I think it's weird because like I think it is technically optimal, but I don't think it's so optimal that it's worth like being uncomfortable and being distracted by the rumbling. Although you could also say that like if you play it with it enough, you just won't get distracted by the rumbling anymore. Although,
Honestly, like I try to play with it, but I get so distracted.
yeah,
But I think in theory though, it does make sense.
yeah, definitely. I
But
also just
they
have
say it like
a.
fucks up your controller though. Oh,
Well,
here we go. There's a fox on battlefield.
oh, okay. I'll are you screen sharing? Oh yeah, okay. Be careful with that fair like fair from off stage. It can get you punished really hard if the fox nose is coming. Like that's how you can easily lose the stock that way if you just fair from on stage. Okay, see that was almost really dangerous. Remember not to make like throw out unsafe moves when it comes to knockdown percent. The narrator was, I think, suboptimal. That narrator was fine because he went to the platform. Um, oh, okay. Oh, you almost had it. You had if you hadn't waved dash back, you would have had an up tilt or an F tilt on
Yeah.
Fox there. Nice wait. Oh, okay, okay, all right. Remember, dash attack isn't going to really lead to anything at that percent.
Ah. There we go. All right. I was kind of doing my thing right there. Oh.
Okay. Nice usage of the movement. Okay, remember, dash attack and F tilt are online now. Oh, that was
what's
almost
cheating.
so good. That was almost so
Yeah.
good. Okay. So at this percent, you're going to want to start dash attacking Fox when he attacks away you're behind. Um, instead of grabbing him again. Just because it's going to be high reward. Well, it's not high reward, but it's easier to capitalize on, right?
There's a dude. There it is. The double jump shot. Oh, I trying to jab there.
Okay, so he was ready for the level 1 option, the ledge dash F tilt. So now you know. Now you can start grabbing him for that.
disrespectful.
So this is something that's really important to keep in mind, is how your opponent is adapting to your ledge dash options. No, I'm also good at this matchup.
No. No, I want to hear. What do you think about that?
I thought that was fine. You were missing some L cancels. You were doing more movement patterns, like you were combining movement with attacks more than you were in the VOD we watched. You had some good ideas when it came to using needles. You were controlling center better than in the VOD. It was just, I think you got the Fox's movement, which the Fox was kind of just cleaner when it came to movement and execution than you were.
He was a good Fox.
Yeah,
I'll
he
give
was
it
a
to
good
him.
Fox.
He was good.
Yeah. And it's hard against Fox because if a Fox has an edge on you in tech skill and in movement, then it can be like, and it's just like is faster than you, then it can be really hard to play against them.
Yeah.
But
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of feel like objectively SHEIK isn't like the best tournament character out of the top tiers. I'm starting to realize this.
Yeah, I think it's because you have to be so disciplined with SHEIK.
Yeah. You can't let your nerves get to you, because
Mhm.
like that's when you.
Yeah, because like with Falco especially, like if you just have such a solid backup plan if you're feeling nervous of just like lasering and waiting for an opening.
And you can just do like an Oonga Boonga like fucking like up smash, or with Falco you can F smash, or with
Mhm.
Marth you can F smash. SHEIK doesn't really have that. I feel like.
Yeah, I mean Sheik's Unga Bunga is kind of platform camping.
Oh, dude, but that's like that's not me.
Honestly,
Alright, should I try for another one?
okay.
Or how do you feel?
Actually, so Ish, I have a super niche SHEIK to watch for you. I think
Sure.
you should watch Santiago.
I've heard of him. Wait, how have I heard of that guy?
He
Santiago,
used to be.
wait. Oh, I seen him in a VOD event. It's a pro
Yeah,
player.
he was
That's why.
El Fuego or Lil Fumi. He was a Falco SHEIK dual main.
I think
and-
I saw him play IBDW.
Yeah, just watch his SHEIK because his SHEIK is really. There's actually a Drugfox analysis of Santiago versus Lucky that was really good. But he plays like he played like a very cool SHEIK that doesn't do much camping and just like uses a lot of like kind of more interesting like approach options. Like he's the only SHEIK I've ever seen that does short hop, wave lane forward, up tilt as an approach. Then he's just like he just does not. If you want to watch a SHEIK that just will not camp, he would be a good one to watch.
So wait, what do you think about ARMS attacking?
It's
Do you,
really
like,
good.
Know when to do it?
It's really
do you,
good.
Know when to do it?
When you're on
So-
when you're on a platform where there's a stage,
You can recognize when to do that, like if
Yeah.
you're getting hit by a kill move.
it's not about like okay I'm reacting to the kill move. It's about reacting to what you think he's gonna kill you with. So like
Oh wait.
using the old uncle punch.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like it's all about like if you're recovering against a SHEIK and you upbeat to the platform, then it's all about thinking, okay, I think he's going to try and fair me, so I'm just gonna prepare for Om's attack.
Is that good?
You want to be going a little bit lower. You want to be starting lower with the Shino
Right.
stall. Like you wanted the poof to come out like at about the ground.
Where, like here? Like here?
Oh, like so Sammy stall. You want to be just so like release from ledge with you almost got it. There you go.
Like that?
Yeah,
Ah.
yeah. You gotta practice it. It's hard.
So, and then, okay, so then you turn that into...
So you got one frame. Four is decent for four is okay. You want to be going for 5 for invincible left tilt, 6 for invincible.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, there you go. That was a good one. That was a really good one.
No, wait, that's like I've only seen 8. That's my highest ever. You said there's 15?
For Fox.
Oh, okay. What's the highest for Sheik?
I can get. I think the highest one that people actually get is 10.
10? Holy shit. That's crazy.
I get 9 sometimes, but I usually range from like 6 to 8.
Oh shit.
Oh.
Alright. Fuck.
Okay, I think I'm gonna cut it.
Yeah, dude.
It was
Yeah.
a good session.